Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're paying tribute to Wayne Howard. Wayne's love of racing and passion for racing all started way back at his family's small house on Keswick Street in St. Catharines. Through Wayne's racing career, he really admired legends like Ivan Little, Jimmy Lampman, Pete Bicknell, and racing friends rivalries with Steve Davos, Hannigan, and in NASCAR, he really admired Dale Earnhardt. Wayne had the best support from his team, too many to name, but I would like to mention his devout pit crew, the late Oris, Jimmy, and Kevin Wiersmuga. In 1989, Wayne told everyone at the beginning of the year that he was going to win all 3 track championships, and he did that. He won at Ransomville, Merrittville, and Humberstone. Wayne's very first race car was a red Bomber with a classic number 9. His winning car was a black Pro Stock, which also had his number 9 on it. Wayne's racing career was from 1981 until 1989. Wayne has always been involved with Trevor Wright's car and his career, as he supported his career since he was 9 years old in go-karts and now as a modified driver. Tonight, Trevor is driving Wayne's Earn-Around one last time for his final laps here at Merrittville Speedway. Wayne retired as he accomplished his dream and then went on to become a successful business owner of All Source Heating and Heat Treating. Wayne always made a point of striving for success, and he accomplished everything he said he would do. On March 7th, 2020, Wayne Howard passed away suddenly. He was taken away from us too early, and we all love and miss him greatly. Tonight, we will honor him and his memory. Now in the booth with you alongside Travis Cunningham. Travis, how's it going tonight?
It's going good, Jonathan. Happy to be here. Glad the heat race are starting to go on, and I'm excited for a good night of racing here at Merrittville Speedway.
Let's have a look at how the lineup is going to go down. Tina Ronning on pole in the 27 alongside of Jordan Fiddler. Then it's Josh Dimitro in the 801, John Couture in the 0, Dustin Dugas in the 14, James Small in the 10, and Jeff Marsh in the 14A rounds out the field in this one. Field will fire together at the orange cone in 4 for the initial start of the race. Green flag in the air.
Green flag is out on our first heat of the night for the Dave's Auto V6s, and Ronning didn't get a good start there. She fades back to about the 4th spot as the 0 Couture got a good start. And it looks like the 22, that's Jordan Fiddler getting the lead now as Couture and Fiddler battle into 3 and 4 now on to complete the first lap.
Fiddler back in the 22F tonight after piloting the white 10 car for a few rounds of the James Auto V6s. Couture to the lead as they work down the back straightaway. Not what their field wants to see is John Couture, always a threat in the V6s. Dimitro trying to hang tough, and then there's Dustin Duga who's looking to the middle. Duga, who's been on fire, winning everything. He's trying to make it 3 wide down the front stretch.
Only 7 cars in this heat race, but lots of action up front. 3 wide now for the second spot with Duga, Fiddler, and the 14. That is Duga, the 801 of Dimitro, as Couture continues to lead in that yellow number 0 car as he comes down to complete the 3rd lap, halfway down now in this 6-lap heat.
Couture leads them. Duga, Fiddler, Dimitro, they've kind of broken off from the rest of the field and formed a 4-car pack at the front. Couture trying to check out from that as he works down the back straightaway. Then it's Duga who's taken over second. Duga trying to make the challenge now. Uses that middle groove, but can't really reel in Couture as they make another pass under the Tim Hortons finish line.
Couture running the middle real good in that 0 car. Duga in the 14 trying to reel him in. Dimitro, they've kind of settled into single file now throughout the field. Top 4 coming to the white flag this time from starter Tom Beals, as Couture is going to lead the field now with Duga, Dimitro, and Fiddler, the top 4.
Final time around, and Duga is there. He's looking to the inside. Down the back straightaway they go. Top 2 are going to settle it in turns 3 and 4. Duga looks to the inside again. Couture plays defense. He cuts to the inside. Duga slides up the racetrack. Coming to the checkers, John Couture is going to hang on, and Batman will take the heat in the James Auto V6s.
Heat number 1 of our glow and go 4 cylinders, and on the pole, that's going to be Danny Worcester from Niagara Falls, and his outside is going to be Fabio Olivieri out of Ancaster. Inside, row 3, that's 7B. Or row 2, that's 7B. Braden Coos to his outside. 69, Rob Twitchett. 5th position, number 31, Trevor DeBoer to his outside. Number 14M, that's Matthew Moore. Inside, row 4, 7th starting spot in the 91, that's Olivier Larocque. And to his outside, 13D, that's Dylan Lord out of Thorold.
Once again, field will fire together at the orange cone in 4. Danny Worster switching to a truck this week. We'll see how that works out for Danny as he and Oliveri will lead him to green. Green flag in the air. It's a slow restart. Oliveri jumps out in front early in this one. Worster and Cuse make contact down into 1. Braden Cuse with an aggressive move to the inside and will take over second as they work down the back straightaway.
Hughes made a good start in that Volkswagen Bug V7. Now Danny Worster drives her in a little too hard, opens up the door for the 31 of DeBoer. Now Lord in the 13 truck gets we're 3 wide down the front straightaway into turn number 1 and 2 for that 3rd spot. Right now it's the 31 of DeBoer, but Lord in that 13 truck definitely looking for it down the back straightaway. Lord always fast in that 13 as he looks to take the 3rd spot now into 3.
Dylan Lord wrapped up a victory a few weeks ago in the 4 cylinders after Austin Worstro failed tech. You know, Lord would want to get a legitimate one where he truly was the car out front, and he's trying to take over second now as he works down the back straightaway to the inside of Cuse. Here he comes down into 3 and 4. Lord trying to make the pass on Cuse. He will do so, and DeBoer trying to follow through on the bottom as we see halfway at the stripe.
Oliveri all alone out front right now, but now Lord all alone in second. He's got a chance to run down the leader, see if he's got a chance to do so. Is now the battle for the 3rd spot. Cuse and DeBoer side by side in the 31 and 7 cars down the back straightaway. Cuse uses the momentum on the high side, but DeBoer throws her in on the bottom. We've definitely got a good battle for that 3rd spot between DeBoer and Cuse.
Olivier Larocque trying to come up from the back of the pack. He's up into the top 5 now. We'll see if he can start to track down DeBoer and Cuse as they continue to race side by side. Meanwhile, at the front, Oliveri still in control in that 16. Lord trying to follow the exact same line through 3 and 4. Oliveri gets a little loose coming to the white flag sideways, but Oliveri still out in front.
Still side by side for that 3rd spot with Cuse and DeBoer. Oliveri out of front, out of turn number 2. Now Lord has closed the gap a little bit, but he's going to need a big effort in 3 and 4 to take home this heat win. It's going to take a mistake out of Oliveri. He's into 3 and 4 for the final time. Checker, flag in the air. It's going to be the number 16 of Fabio Oliveri, followed by Dylan Lord. Battle for the line for 3rd. It is Cuse over DeBoer, Larocque, Worster, Moore, and Twitchett.
Colborne, Ontario on pole in the 71C. Then it's Jay Moulton in the 10 from Niagara Falls. Randy Allway will start 3rd in the 34 from St. Anne's, Ontario. Then it's Ken Hare out of Fawn Hill in the 5K. Starting 5th, it'll be Nick Erskine out of Brantford, Ontario in the 64. Then it's Austin Worstro in the 71W. And Mark Deagle rounds out the field in the 12M. Did have Hoskins scheduled to start in this one in the 37, but that will actually be a Hoosier stock entry. And one car added late to this one. I believe that's the pinball, Mike Giberson, who's joining at the back of the pack.
Always love to see the pinball. He's usually kind of pretty late to the gates, but pinball, he's definitely been around a while. Good to see Mike out at the Speedway as we're ready for the green flag here in heat number 2. Cerenzia and Moulton. Green flag in the air as we race down into turn number 1 and 2. Moulton with a great start in that number 10 as he's going to lead him into 1 and 2. Cerenzia and Hare battling for that 2nd spot.
Good battle behind them. The car making all kinds of time on the high side through 1 and 2 was Austin Worstro. He's already up to 3rd in that 71W Volkswagen. But out in front, Jay Moulton's going to lead him. Moulton leads lap 1 over Hare and Worstro. 3 heavy hitters at the front early in this one. Hare trying to find some speed a little higher, cuts to the bottom and down the back straightaway. He'll start to close in on Moulton.
Moulton now gets a little high off the bottom at turn number 4. That opens up the door for Harris, but not able to do anything with it is Worstro, winner of $1,000 at Humberstone Speedway last Sunday in that number 71, trying to close in on the lead spot. Worstro definitely rolling good in that 71 as we've got the 64 closing in on him. That's Nick Erskine.
Erskine trying to break away from the rest of the pack, and he's closing in on Worstro, but Hare is there, down to about a car length as they work down the front straightaway. Kenny Hare through 1 and 2, trying to close into the back bumper Halfway in, halfway home. Down the back straightaway they go. Can Kenny Hare make the move in 3 and 4? He's not going to get there. Still, Moulton leads.
Hare ever so slowly inching in on the lead of Moulton. Moulton definitely slipping up in turn 4, has a handful of it. They're coming out of 4 as he comes to 2 to go that time. Moulton and Hare, your battle out front. Hare on the bottom, Moulton kind of running the middle, drifting it up to the high side. Is now Hare definitely gets a good run. He has to cross up and go to the high side into turn number 3 and 4. Hare definitely found some speed, and he's going to roll around the outside of Moulton, coming out of 4 for the white flag.
Wild move for the lead there, as I believe Moulton's got a problem. Moulton slows down the front straightaway. That car does not sound like it is fully under power. Tough break for Jay Moulton, but that explains why Kenny Hare made such a bold, aggressive move, kind of crisscrossing on the back straightaway to take the lead, and that is where he finds himself now, coming off of 4 and taking the checkered flag. Kenny Hare in the 5K will win heat number 2 of the Glow and Go Tanning 4-cylinders over Worstro. Erskine hangs on to 3rd. Then it's going to be Deagle, Sorenzia, Alway, and Guyverson rounding out the field after the break for Jay Moulton.
Final heat race of the night, heat race number 3 for the Glow and Go 4-cylinders, and this is how they're going to line up on the pole. In the 3K, that's Courtney Coquerit and her outside. In the 96T, that's Tyler LaFantasy. Inside, row number 2, 3rd starting spot, that's Jordan Denambrosia in the 7 and his outside. Lots of feature wins for this driver this year. That's the 114 of Kyle Rothwell. Inside, row 3, 5th starting spot, that's a 60 of Richard Hadler, and his outside is the 519 of Rob Schott in St. Catharines. And rounding out the field in the 12 junior out of Niagara Falls is going to be Anthony Kelly.
Good field of cars here. Kokoric has shown a lot of speed. We'll see what the 3K can do from the pole. Front row fires together. Slow start once again. Leaders bringing them in real slow. And just what the LaFontaine 96T wanted to see, and even more so, look what Rothwell's doing up on the high side. As they come down the back straightaway, Rothwell all over the back of the 96T for the lead.
96 and 114, always fast around here in the Niagara region. Anywhere they go, they're going to battle it out front for that 1 and 2 spot right now as Rothwell swings it low, almost 3 wide out of the lead, out of 4 that time for the lead, as LaFontaine still on that high side, Rothwell on the bottom. They're still side by side, the good buddies, as they battle out of 4. Rothwell noses out a little bit in front, and here comes Kelly all the way from the back, already up to 3rd.
Anthony Kelly back in his traditional 12 junior ride, trying to take over 3rd from the 3K, while Rothwell works over LaFontaine for the lead. Down the front stretch they go. Kyle Rothwell's going to clear LaFontaine. LaFontaine tries to cross him over. They are very close as they race through 1 and 2.
Really good race out front between the 96 and 114. LaFontaine now on the inside. Rothwell on the outside. They've switched it up as Rothwell is going to hold that top side. Definitely got a lot of left wheel in that car as he comes down to see the cross flags from starter Tom Beals. Kelly still in that 3rd spot trying to move up, is now the 7, D'Ambrosia, and the 3 of Coquerit. They battle for that 4th spot.
Down the back straightaway they go. Top 3 single file, but Kelly is starting to catch the top 2 through 3 and 4. Another good line from Kelly. He keeps it nice and smooth. They're side by side in the back as Denariga and the Kokoric machine still battling side by side, and mixing it up now is Shaw in the 519.
That's definitely the best battle on the track, Jonathan. They're 3 wide now out of 4 for that 4th spot. Kokoric and Shaw now as their 4th and 5th as they go into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. But Rothwell under the start-finish line that time sees the white flag. Rothwell definitely got a little bit of a push in that Volkswagen, but it's working good as he works down the back straightaway for the final time in this heat race. LaFontaine's fallen back a little bit as Kelly's reeled him in a little bit. And out of 3 and 4, checkered flag in the air for the final heat race of the night in the Glow and Go 4-cylinders is going to be Rothwell over LaFontaine. Kelly, we're going to have a race to the line for 3rd or 4th, 5th, and 6th. We've got Shaw, Kokoric, D'Ambrosia, and rounding out the field is going to be the 60 of Hadler.
Rona Deutsch Building Center's Mod Lights here. Let's see how they line up for heat number 1. Dave Cornish on pole in the 291 alongside of Dylan Slider in the 50. Then it's Tim Anderson out of Port Colborne in the 15. Sean Iftani's in the 27. Starting 5th, RJ Pitts out of Port Colborne, Ontario in the 26. Jeffrey May is in the 23. Sean Slider will start 7th in the 09, and rounding out the field, Ryan Anderson in the 44. Field lined up real tight. Once again, fire together for the initial start at the orange cone in 4. Green flag back in the air.
Nice and even start in this first mod light heat. Into number 1 and 2, we've got the 15 of Tim Anderson rolling the middle. He's looking to the outside of the 219 of Cornish. They race down the back straightaway. Slider in that 50, he's caught in the middle, but he sends her into the middle of 3 and 4. Dylan Slider in the middle, coming out of turn number 2 as we've got a car sideways. Slider gets in, and we've got car hard into the front stretch wall. That's the 15 of Tim Anderson and the 50 of Dylan Slider hard into the front stretch wall.
Big wreck here on the front stretch. You see the 09 of Slider taking to the go-kart track to avoid that one, or maybe he's got a problem trying to sort that out on the go-kart track. But this is where I appreciate actually having a driver up in the booth with me. How hard is that for anyone to save when that car is that sideways coming off of 4, Travis?
Oh, Jonathan, when something happens that quick, it's almost like slow motion. You know you're going to get in there. I think this Slider car, the 09 that was rolling around in the infield, did get a piece of that. But like for people like that, like Dylan Slider and Sean Slider, when the 15 of Anderson was crossed up, I swear it's just like slow motion. And you just try to make your best to make the best judgment, but sometimes there's nowhere to go and you get collected.
Pitts and Iftati will lead him back to green. Then it's Cornish, May. Ryan Anderson's in the 44. And rounding out the field, looks like the Slider 50 will carry on after being involved in that one. Green flag back in the air, and it's Pitts away with the lead.
Dylan Slider in that 50 definitely getting a little lucky for being able to drive away from that with not much damage. I was definitely expecting him to be on the hook, as now we've got the 26 of Pitts leading down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4 as they come to click off the second lap of this heat. Right, Jeffrey May with a little bit of quarter panel damage on that. I'm pretty sure it's a brand new car for the 23 of May tonight. She's definitely got a little quarter panel damage on that 23 though.
A little bit of damage, but that 23 is definitely digging. He's trying to reel in the 27 of Iftati. May showed speed a few weeks ago, or excuse me, last weekend in a battle with Winger, Tyler Winger, who we'll see in heat number 2. But still at the front, it's RJ Pitts out front.
May trying his best on that bottom side to get a run on the 27 of Iftati. RJ Pitts, like to see them two battling as he's able to keep clicking off laps, hitting his marks in that 26 as he leads this field down to 2 to go this time for that 26 of RJ Pitts.
May working over Iftati, down into 1 and 2. They're side by side for second. May not letting that damage slow him down at all as he works the bottom, trying to find a way past Iftati, who's running that high side, but May can't find the grip off. They're still side by side as the white flag waves.
White flag out for the 26 of Pitts. He works his way down the back straightaway this time. The 23 of May stalled out a little bit in 1 and 2 that time. Lets the 27 of Iftati get away into turn number 3 and 4 for the second spot. Checker flag out. It's going to be the 26 of Pitts, followed by 27 Iftati, 23 May, 44 Anderson, 50 Slider, and the 291 of Cornish remains the cars on the field.
And joining in late in this one is going to be the 74, we believe piloted by Marty DeMol. We'll get more information on that during the intermission as we get ready for green flag in the modified lights heat number 2.
Randy Drew in that 24 gets a good start from that last row starting spot as he throws her up the middle, and he's looking to the outside of Bigelow now for that about 5th spot as the 07 of Watson leads down the number 3 and 4 corners. Now Josh Slider in that 17. He built that car himself with a couple of partners. That's a Savage chassis for Sliders. He's doing a good job to get her in the second spot now in this second heat.
Josh Slider not showing the dominance that we usually see out of that 17 over the last couple seasons here in the mod lights, but we'll see what that new chassis has as Josh works to second, trying to make a challenge on Watson. Watson leads. Then it's Slider. Winger's up to 3rd. Bigelow and Giroux battle for the 4th and 5th spot.
Giroux definitely hammering that high side in the 24. Bigelow down on the bottom in the good dirt along the wall. They're still side by side into turn number 3 and 4 for that 4th spot. Giroux kicks her sideways and puts her down on the side door of Bigelow there, trying to make it so he can't get on the gas, but does not work. Bigelow pulls into 4th spot now in that number 16.
Battle still raging on as now Bigelow looks to the inside of Winger, briefly down the back straightaway into 1 and 2. Bigelow can't find a way around, while Giroux, who picked up his first feature win just 2 weeks ago, he continues to lurk there in the 5th position.
Watson out front, Slider starting to reel him in just a tiny bit. Slider in that 17 looking to move in on Watson as now he goes into the bottom side. Looks for the bite out of 4. Watson been rolling around that high side as they see the white flag this time. And we're still battling pretty good for that third spot with Winger, Bigelow, and Giroux.
One car around, I believe that is our leader, Watson. Trouble for Chris Watson on the 07 as he loops it, gets it righted. And we stay yellow, or we go yellow for that spin of Watson. Watson quickly got it righted, but was enough to cause a yellow. Should be a quickie yellow here as we get the lineup set. Green flag back in the air. Josh Slater, a position he's pretty used to, out in front of the mod lights as he works down into 1 and 2. Tyler Winger up on the high side. Can he get to Slater and make a challenge for the lead in this one late? Down into 3 and 4. Slater has a few car lengths advantage. Coming out of 4 for the final time. Checkers in the air. Josh Slater will win heat number 2 in the Rona Deutsch Building Center's modified lights over Winger, Bigelow, Giroux, and then the 6S of Slater brings it home 5th.
Pulling onto the speedway now, we're going to have heat number 1 of our Hoosier stocks on the evening. We've got 24 entries tonight. Good full field of street stocks. They always put on a great show, and here's how they're going to line up for heat 1. On the pole, that's the 41 out of Caister Center, Adam Plazik to his outside, 108 out of Port Robinson, that's Billy Bleach. Third spot, inside row 2, out of Hamilton, the Hamilton Hot Shoe, 43C, Clinton Nichols to his outside, it's the 84 RK of Ryan Beagle. In 5th starting spot, Smithville, Ontario's 47X, that's Kyle Pellrine to his outside, long journey for this driver out of Merlin, Ontario, 21, Spencer Smolders. Inside, row number 4, 7th starting spot, 1J, that's Jason Fontaine out of Port Colborne, and rounding out the field in the 25, that's going to be Kenny Sargent.
Rob Murray in the M1. Up in the wrong heat for this one. He'll pull off. Get the lineup corrected there, then we'll get ready to come for green. Reminder, race fans, you can buy your tickets for Tim Hortons Wreckfest 2021, happening September 12th, 2021. All details up on the Merrittville Speedway Facebook page, as well as merrittvillespeedway.com. 100-lap, $5,000 to win enduro race. We also have a school bus demolition derby as well.
Plazik and Bleach, nice and slow down that back straightaway. Creeping into 3 and 4, we're going to get the green flag and get heat number 1 on the go here for our Hoosier stocks. At the cone in 3 and 4, on the gas, Plazik kicks her out sideways. Nichols also gets a little loose there as they race down into turn number 1 on lap 1. Bleach on the high side, Plazik on the bottom now gets a good run into 1 and 2. He pulls out in front, but Bleach still getting a good run out of that. 108 down the back straightaway, but Nichols also got a lot of power down on that 43C as he moves to the inside of Plazik, who gets crossed up out of 4. Oh, no, Nichols gets crossed up out of 4 as well, as it's definitely slick out of 4 as we got the whole car in a big gaggle rolling into turn 1.
It's a sideways run to complete lap number 1 in the Hoosier stocks, as I think I counted 4 cars all pointed the wrong way coming up off of 4, but everybody keeps it clean. We stay green, and they battle down into 3 and 4. Pellrine looking for the lead to the inside of the 43C. Plazik goes up high once again, gets loose, saves it, and we again stay green.
These Hoosier stocks definitely struggling a little bit with the slick 3 and 4 tonight, as a lot of them getting loose out of 4, but it's producing a lot of close racing as they're still side by side in the middle part of the field, as Fontaine now gets by Bleach, who gets a shot in the back from Smolders into 3 and 4. Fontaine now into that 4 spot. Nichols, even though he got loose on that first lap, he's still able to hold on to that lead in that 43C.
Kyle Pellrine trying to find a way by on the inside. He goes down the back straightaway. Nichols in the 43C still controls it. Tries to cut down in front of Pellrine. Pellrine's nose is there, but still, as we get ready to come to halfway, Clinton Nichols still out in front in the 43C.
Great battle for the lead between 47X of Pellrine and 43C of Nichols. Same thing every lap. Pellrine down on the bottom, Nichols rolling the middle to the top. Nichols able to hold on to it is now Beagle in the 84 and Fontaine. They're definitely not out of this one either. Smolders throws it in hard in the 21, but that opens up the doors. He gets loose as I say that. Announcer's curse, and the 25 of Sargent gets by him for the 5th spot.
Ryan Beagle in the 84 RK is lurking there as the leaders continue to go door to door down the back straightaway. Pellrine sends it in there, trying to get by Nichols in 3 and 4. Can't do it. Nichols keeps him pinned down there. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 laps to go.
2 to go for Nichols in that MK Solutions number 43. Pellrine still on the bottom. It's been pretty much the same thing every lap. Pellerine tries to get out of the bottom of 2, but Nichols gets a good run down the D-shaped back straightaway here at Merrittville into 3 and 4. Nichols tries the Bicknell line there and gets a little bit too sideways coming out of 4, but he seems to be able to get the hammer down, even though he's definitely hanging that rear end out of 4.
Nichols in control as Beagle now battling for second. The 1J of Fontaine maybe making it 3 wide for second. Fontaine sails it in there. What a move from the 1J, but it's all happening behind the leader, Clinton Nichols, who will win over Beagle. The 1J of Fontaine, Pellerine, and I believe Sargent wraps up the top 5 spot in the 25.
Hoosier stocks rolling onto the speedway, and here's the lineup. On the pole, 28D, that's Donnie Lampman out of Caister Center. To his outside out of Thorold, that's 11 Go Fast Tipo. Third spot out of Hagersville, 3B, that's Devin Bacher. And to his outside in the 32, that's Mark Fawcett. Fifth starting spot inside row 3 out of Burlington, 97, that's Ron Logie. And to his outside, 93K out of Hagersville, Mike Klazinga. Seventh starting spot inside row 4 in the 49, always fast, Dave Bailey in that Brewster Baker 49. To his outside tonight, visitor from Niagara Falls, New York, in the second 1J car with a 1J2. That is Ransomville hot shoe Corey Sawyer.
Looks like Mike Klazinga opting to go tail in this one. Donnie Lampman will lead him to green alongside of Teeple. They fire together at the orange cone in 4. Green flag in the air. Lampman gets a great start with Bacher all over his backside, but here comes Teeple to pull even down into 1. Lots of smoke off of the Lampman 28D at the front. Not sure if that car is going to last too much longer, but oh no, excuse me, I think that smoke's actually off the 3B of Bacher. It's Devin Bacher who's smoking, and Lampman still trying to lead it as they're 4 wide, maybe 5 wide coming down the front stretch.
Bailey even looked at maybe making it 6 wide there out of 4 that time. Good battle here in this second Hoosier stock heat. Is now Bailey pries open the 3B of Bacher, who is showing that smoke. As Jonathan said, down the back straightaway, Bailey in that 49 into the 5th spot. Is there still a battle out front between Teeple and that 32 of Fawcett, who's hanging it out on the high side, and he looks like possibly going to lead this lap. He is.
The 32 of Mark Fawcett. I've been picking him for weeks to upset the Bailey-Murray balance here at Merrittville. But as I say that, Dave Bailey in the Queenston Chev 49 is up to 3rd and looking for more as he goes to the inside of Teeple. What a move from Bailey, trying to put the power down. Fawcett still leads it at the line over Teeple, Bailey, Logie, and Lampman.
32 of Fawcett definitely doing a good job. He's always fast. He's been racing quite a while now in that 32. Takes a few seasons off, but he's glad to see him back at Merrittville now. He definitely knows his way to victory lane in that 32. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. Is now Bailey, though, who is always fast in that 49. Definitely the class of the field in the street stocks here around the Niagara region for the past 3 years. Multi-time 3-track champs is moving in on him and looking to take that lead away from the 32 of Fawcett.
Fawcett leads by about a half car length. Bailey's looking to the inside. If Mark Fawcett's got any speed, this might be a good time to show it. Show him what you got to hold off the best here at Merrittville as of late. Dave Bailey, though, he'll lead that lap, and he'll look to clear the 32 as they work down into 1 and 2.
Bailey doing a good job to keep the bite under that 49 out of 4, not getting quite as sideways as the rest of the cars here tonight. 97, that's Ron Logie. He's doing a good job in that Camaro. Just as I say that, he pushes up and opens the door for Teeple as they're side-by-side out of 4 for that 3rd spot. Devin Bacher, Donnie Lampman, and Kazinga, they're having a good battle as well for that 5th spot. Good battles all around the speedway at the moment.
Top 2 separated by about a quarter car length. Now Bailey starting to stretch things out as Fawcett commits to that middle to high groove, coming to the white flag. Dave Bailey one more time around to wrap up heat number 2 in the Hoosier stocks over Fawcett. Logan, Teeple, and Lampman still hangs on to 5th.
Klazinga got all crossed up that time on the inside of Bacher, battling for the 5th and 6th spot as Lampman's now on the backside. Is into 3 and 4 for the final time. 49, Dave Bailey. Looking at the checkers coming out of 4, it's going to be Bailey over Fawcett. Battle for 3rd of the line now. It's going to be Logie over Teeple, Donnie Lampman, Bacher, Klazinga, and the 1J2 of Sawyer.
Lampman out of Caister Center, Ontario will be on pole in the 28. Then it's Dave Small in the 7X from Port Colborne, Ontario. Mike Thorne's in the 55. Kevin Knapp is in the 33 out of Allenburg, Ontario, starting 4th. Starting 5th, Evan Curtis in the 2 Easy out of Port Colborne, Ontario. Then it's Rob Murray in the M1 starting 6th. Robbie Disher will start 7th in the 17 out of Grimsby. And a late addition to this field again, Rob Hoskins is in the 37, and he'll roll off 8th.
Lampman and Small in that front row. Nice and slow down the back straightaway. It seems like these Hoosier Sox definitely like to creep down the back straightaway, going to the opening green. Thorne and Knapp looking for a good run on the start as well to see what they can do with the people on the front row. Here we go, nice and tight out of 4 at the green flag is out. Lampman in that 28 Camaro gets a good run as the 33K of Knapp. Tries to thread the middle and looking for some room. As now we're about 4 wide out of 4. And Murray sticking his nose in there as well as Disher on the bottom.
Great action through 1 and 2. Field starting to spread out a little bit through 3 and 4. Thorne goes to the lead on the bottom, and look at Evan Curtis going for a ride up the stairs. Evan Curtis in the 2 easy went a little too high, jumped the cushion. He's going to try to keep it rolling. We'll try to stay green here. Looks like Curtis does a great job at that, and Jim Lampman leads him down the back straightaway.
Evan Curtis did 2 good jobs there. He did a good job of keeping it out of the berm there in 3 and 4, and then he did a good job to keep it rolling and keep us green as Murray now to the inside of Disher. Good battle for that 3rd spot as they're 3 wide with Small in the 7X, Disher in the 17, and Murray in the M1. As the Burger Brown number 55 of Mike Thorne out front, followed by the 28 of Lampman, and now Murray to the inside of Disher for the 3rd spot.
Weather affecting Burger Barn night here at Merrittville last night. Mike Thorne trying to make up for that by putting on a good showing for his sponsor. Out in front by a couple car lengths in this one, but here comes Rob Murray in the M1. Rob Murray, the only other driver in a Hoosier stock to claim a feature win here thus far at Merrittville Speedway, not named Dave Bailey. He lurks in 3rd place and tries to get to the inside of Jim Lampman, who goes way upstairs, and looks like Murray will go to 2nd.
Cross flags in the air this time for your leader, 55 of Mike Thorne. Lampman throws it on the high side where he likes to run in that 28, trying to chase down the number 1 end of Murray, who solidly moved into that 2nd spot. Disher doing a good job as he started far back in this field in the 17 to move up in that Monte Carlo number 17, as now he opens up the door for our late arrival in the 37 of Rob Hawkins.
Rob Hoskins trying to make up moves from the back of the pack. He works to the inside of Disher. They're battling for 4th place down the back straightaway. Tightest battle on the racetrack as Thorne continues to lead. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 more laps for Mike Thorne to hang on to it over Murray, Lampman, Hoskins by a nose over the 17 of Disher.
Hoskins on the inside of Disher looking for that 4th spot as he moved up from the 8 starting position in this one. Small in the 7X behind them. White flag out this time for the 55 of Mike Thorne, who's been out front all alone in this one, doing a good job in that Burger Barn 55. We've definitely got a good battle for that 5th spot all night, all race long, though, with the 37 and 17 of Disher. But down the back straightaway, final time into turn number 3 and 4 this time for the Burger Barn number 55 Camaro. Out of 4, checker flag in the air. It's going to be Mike Thorne for the win, followed by M1 Rob Murray. Battle for 3rd of the line, going to be the 28 of Lampman over 37 Hoskins, 17 Disher, 7X Small, and the 33J of Knapp.
A little bit of good karma for Evan Curtis there after his spin, keeps it rolling, takes the L. Maybe he'll be rewarded by the racing gods a little later in the evening.
Rolling onto the speedway now, we've got Heat 1 for our Action Sprint Tour, the Crate Sprints. And this is how they are going to line up. On the pole, Burger Barn 56 out of Hamilton, that's Derek Lemaire. And to his outside, 17T of Taylor Powless. Inside, row number 2 out of Thamesford, 14, Relay Gladell is outside, is the 4B of Daryl Peltier. Inside, row number 3, 5th starting spot, 19D, that's going to be Alan Downey, who won a feature here last year. To his outside in the 20 out of 6 Nations, that's Johnny Miller. Inside, row 4, 7th starting spot in the number 4, that's out of St. Thomas, that's Jesse Costa. And his outside in the 99, that's going to be Joshua Hill out of Oshweeken.
Travis, when you're not busy joining me on a Saturday night, you usually find yourself behind the wheel of a sprint car. Tell me what driving a sprint car is like around a tricky Merrittville Speedway.
Merrittville, most times is the sprint cars like the big right rears dry out the track, so it's a lot of getting the good setup and driving the car. It's definitely a driver's track here at Merrittville, and that's why I love it so much. Haven't been running good here this year, so I definitely got to get my driving under order, but definitely a good track where you got to definitely massage the setup and your driving ability, keep the tires under you, and that's how you're fast here at Merrittville in the sprints. Last green flag is out. Lemaire gets a great start, and he leads into 1.
Lemaire leads him down in there, battling for 2nd, the 14, working on the inside. That's Gledhill. Couldn't get the pass done. Up on the high side, Powless in the 77T trying to find a way around the outside, but after lap number 1, it's Derek Lemaire in the 56 out front.
Alan Downey already got a couple passing points as he's going into the second spot. Downey got the left rear down on that good stuff on the bottom as he's rolling through this field on the bottom. And that 19 is Lemaire. He's going the other way. He's up on the good stuff on the high side on the cushion. Rolling out, of course, he leads that lap over Downey, Peltier, and Costa.
Three wide for a brief moment down the front straightaway. Looks like the 4 of Costa trying to find a way by on the inside. That actually cost him a bit of time as he was looking to get by Miller and the 14 of Gladell.
Downey definitely looking good out of 4. He's got the wheels pointed straight, definitely not hanging the rear end very good as he's gaining now on the 56 Burger Barn machine of Lemaire. Costa also looking good in the 4. And the 77 of Palace doing a good job to hang with these really fast cars up at the front. Johnny Miller rounds out the top 5, and Gladell in the 14 got real loose that time and loses ground to Miller.
Down the back straightaway, Downey trying to take the lead away and will try to clear Lemaire down the front straightaway. Downey in the 19D to the point. Following suit and closing in on the top 2 is Jesse Costa out of St. Thomas in the 4. Costa works to the high side, down the back straightaway. Closes in about a car length as he looks to make a pass through 3 and 4.
Costa sees what Downey's doing on the low side of the speedway in that number 4 car, trying to do the same thing as well. Lemaire also moving down now to the bottom of 1 and 2 in that 56 after the 19 of Downey, who's doing a really good job of holding the good stuff on the bottom. He showed the bottom to Lemaire, and he's going to try it, but this time Lemaire goes back to the top side, and it might cost him the second spot to Costa as they come to the white now.
White flag in the air. One more time around. Does Costa have enough to take over second? They battle side by side. Downey out in front by about a half straightaway already. Costa completes the pass down the back stretch. Here it comes Jesse Costa to take second. Downey will take the checkers. Costa, Lemaire, and then it's the 77T of Palace, and Johnny Miller rounds out your top 5 in this one. As we get set to come to green in the Action Sprint Tour Heat number 2.
Dale Curran, Cody Smith on that front row. They're nice tight square, and even with Miller and Gartley, Teal and Stratford, they're all looking to move up in this field. Green flag is out. Curran gets a good start into turn number 1 and 2. Miller also in the 38 now has moved up in the second. Smith in that 49. We're going to go yellow, though. Race director Doug Leonard did not like that start, and we're going to go yellow, re-rack them and stack them.
Ruling is the 31, dropping back a row, Dale Curran in the 31. So that'll put Derek Miller in the 38 on the front roll to start. Travis, when you're coming to a start in these sprint cars, how treacherous is it when you know, maybe you're mid-pack, whether you're in the front row? It seems like any series that races here at Merrittville, it can be tricky coming to the start, but sprint cars in particular, to me as a racing fan, just seem like such a sketchy beast coming to the green.
Yeah, the sprint car's just definitely a little twitchy because of their short wheelbases and wide open big tires. There's definitely a lot of open wheels to get caught up on the starts, and you definitely want to be extra careful on the starts, but it's also a good spot to gain a lot of positions as well, if we're being honest. So when they're all bunched up at the beginning, that's also a good place to try to gain a little spots. That's what's exciting. And here we go. Green flag is going to come out for heat race number 2. Second try. Way better start that time as Smith and Miller get even. Gartley looking to the outside that time as he goes to the outside. Is going to look for around the outside of Cody Smith. And now Curran looks to the outside of him going down the back straightaway, trying to move up from that penalty as Winger also doing a good job in that too, banging the high side.
Gartley with a great start. I thought was going to try to take him 3 wide down the Merrittville front stretch coming to green. Now he looks to the outside, trying to make up some hay on the outside to get past Miller. Miller takes advantage of the penalty to Curran. He leads early in this one. Then it's Gartley. Stratford runs third. And now here comes Curran to try to get back up into the front.
Stratford in that BS39 doing a good job to move up. He started in the 6th spot, now in the 3rd. Definitely some passing points for the 39 of Stratford as he's looking down, everyone rolling the bottom. Winger going to try to roll around the high side of Curran in 3 and 4. Curran crosses across the straightaway that time and allows Winger to gain in a little bit of spots as now Gartley looks to the inside of Stratford, but Stratford able to hold him off. Good job with the defensive driving. Now Curran finds some bite on the top side. He's going to look for a spot into 3 and 4. Gartley and Curran side by side for halfway. Curran takes the spot in 3rd.
Lee Winger was trying to make some hay on the outside through 1 and 2. Last lap, he washed out. That dropped him off the back of the top 4. Meanwhile, Curran in the 31 looking to rebound. He's up to 3rd. Now looks to get past the 39 of Stratford as the top 3 are single file.
Topside tricky here at Merrittville. You can either hit it perfectly or fall off, as Lee Winger does that time as he gets off the top side of turn number 2. But Curran in that 31's definitely found it. He's rolling the middle on that 39 of Stratford, who's kind of getting hung up a little bit behind the 38 of Miller, who's doing a good job, though, to hit his marks in the lead. But he's going to have some company as Curran's doing a good job in that 31. But Stratford now finds some bite in the 39, and he pulls back into second. Good battle here.
Tight racing coming off of Merrittville turn 4. White flag in the air. It's Miller out front in the True North Bet 38. Meanwhile, Stratford all over the back of that 38. Tight racing amongst the top 3. This is far from over. Into the final corners. 3 and 4. Curran up on the high side. Miller down low. Stratford lurking there as well. Checkers in the air. It's Miller who hangs on over Stratford. And then Curran. And then the 45 of Gartley brings it home 4th, and Lee Winger hangs on to 5th.
Real exciting heat race there for our conclusion of the second heat race in the Action Sprint Tour. Derek Miller wins it. Definitely a good job of the driver out of Six Nations in that 38 to hold on and lead every lap after he got the rewarding thing of the penalty of the 31 of Curran. So good job for that 38 of Miller. Now we're only B Green out of 4. McKnight in the 70, Stolle in the 50. RPM starting to come up a little bit. They're at the cone. Green flag is out, and we are green into turn number 1. Good even start that time for Stolle and McKnight. Stolle on the top, McKnight on the bottom as they're 3 wide for the 3rd spot. Gledhill in the middle with Erskine and Nanacoke, and Dryden in the 12 looking for any opening on the high side in that number 12 car.
Top 6 staying together early in this one as McKnight and Staley still battle on the high side. 3 wide down the front stretch for a brief moment as the 9C was caught in the middle there. That was Nanacoke, who will drop back both of those positions, and maybe Nanacoke's going to lose even more as Dryden gets by in the 12 DD.
Dykstra did a good job that last lap to make that straightaway longer like we were talking about, Jonathan. He moved from about 7th spot into the 3rd spot with one little swoop out of 4. He hit the good stuff out of 4. Now he's got a problem, though, as McKnight's down in the bottom in the good stuff, and McKnight's doing a good job to hold the bottom in that 70 car in second.
Seems like it's a battle in this one to get to the inside groove. Dykstra now looks to the outside as he tries to make the move on McKnight for second. He'll do so upstairs, but McKnight fights back on the outside as I believe the 48 washed up there. Excuse me, that was the 49. No, excuse me, the 48 of Erskine that washed up, and he got into the high side there and almost looped it in the 48, but hangs on.
Dykstra now starting to roll the middle, trying to hold the 70 McKnight down on the bottom, trying to hold his momentum as Dykstra now throws it in the middle again, but cannot make it work. Tries the crossover move, but McKnight doing a good job to hold that bottom out of 4, and he can hold that second spot. Gledhill now gets by the 48 of Erskine for the 4th spot.
Put Gledhill up to 4th, and meanwhile the battle rages on for second. McKnight holding tough on the inside groove. Dykstra goes way to the outside now as Dykstra will look to clear going down in a 1 and 2. This time up off a 2. Dykstra will do it. Dykstra's through to second, but he's got about a straightaway if he wants to catch Adrian Staley.
Definitely will take a mistake from Stolle in that 50 for Dykstra to catch him in this heat race as there's only 1 lap to go. White flag in the air this time for the 50th Stolle, who did a good job since the start of this one to lead this heat race. Dykstra also a contender for the passing points winner of tonight, the Top Gun, as with checker flags out, going to be Adrian Stolle in the 50. Your winner, followed by 5D of Dykstra, 70mm of McKnight, 7 of Gledhill, 48 Erskine, 12 Double D of Dryden, 8 of Hill, and the 9 of Nanacoke round out the field. Rolling on the heat on the speedway now, it's going to be heat 4, final heat of the night for our Action Sprint Tour. And here is how they're going to line up. On the pole, 45, Nick Sheridan, last week's winner of the $5,000 in the crate sprint race. That's Nick Sheridan out of Mount Bridges, and his outside in the 74 out of Rockwood. That's Rob Neely. Inside, row number 2, 3rd starting spot in the 49L. This driver's also been really fast this year. Has a 2nd place here earlier in the year. That's Lucas Smith out of Brantford to his outside in the 51. That's high school teacher. That's Trevor Young out of Ancaster. Inside, row 3, 5th starting spot. This driver just moving up from the micro sprints into the crate sprints. 77E out of Oshweekon. That's Ashton Van Avery into his outside, longtime competitor in their 08. Out of Fawn Hill, local boy, that's Stephen Beckett. inside row 4, 7th starting spot out of Rockwood, Ontario, 94. That's Ryan Fraser. And rounding out the field, 26X out of Ancaster. That's going to be Terry Baker.
CAA tow trucks out there getting cars pushed, getting ready to go in the final heat number 4 of our Action Sprint Tour. We will have an Action Sprint consie a little later in the evening following intermission. Don't forget to head on down to the merch truck here at Merrittville Speedway and pick yourself up a nice Merrittville Speedway windbreaker or maybe one of our 70th anniversary tees. All available down at the Merrittville Speedway merch trailer, which you can find just behind the main grandstands here.
Field assembling on the back straightaways. We're going to come to the white this time. Sheridan and Neely on that front row. Smith and Young behind him. Definitely some heavy hitters in this heat with Sheridan, Neely, Smith, Beckett. Lots of good runners. Even Ryan Fraser had a good third-place run earlier this year at Humberstone. Good run for him. As we're super slow now down the back straightaway with Sheridan and the 74 of Neely.
Looks like Ashton Van Avery is dropping to the back in the 77E, electing to start tail on the field. And we'll get ready to come to green as Sheridan and Neely fire together at the orange cone in 4. Green flag in the air. Sheridan with a great jump. Quickly, Smith follows suit, and he'll take over second before they get to the first turn. Meanwhile, behind them, they're slicing and dicing, trying to sort themselves out. Young making some time up on the outside in that 51. He'll look to take over third.
Young definitely ain't afraid to sail it in on the high side, going into 3. Definitely center in, but definitely paid the price coming out as the 08 of Beckett, who's moved up from 6th starting spot, now looks for the 3rd spot as we're 3 wide. Coming out of turn number 2 for the 3rd spot is Trevor Young. Did a good job that time in turn number 1 and 2 to roll the high side, the moisture off the top, and gain 2 positions in turn number 1 and 2, but looks like made some mistake there and gives them back out of 4 as Sheridan in the 45 doing a good job to lead this one, followed by the 49L of Lucas Smith.
Neely and Young battling hard for that 3rd position down the back straightaway. Young trying to clear him on the outside in the 51, but Neely hanging tough on the inside. The inside is where all the grip has been thus far at Merrittville Speedway, and Neely takes 3rd back on the inside, and now here comes the 08 of Beckett through on the inside as Young goes way too outside, and that'll cost him 3 spots.
Young definitely playing that scary game on the high side here at Merrittville. Definitely easy to fall off. Whenever on the high side, I feel like I'll hit a good lap or 2 and then fall off in turn number 1 and 2. That's what happened to the 51 of Young that time, as he does a good job now to get back by the 94 of Fraser out of turn 2.
Meanwhile, up at the front, it's all Nick Sheridan in the 45. Sheridan, a threat to win every time he's here at Merrittville. Has great stuff, knows how to get around this place, and he is showing how it's done out on a Saturday cruise as we see 2 laps to go in this one.
Sheridan, definitely a good young driver, only 16, still in high school, going into grade 11 this year. Definitely a smart young guy who takes a lot of care of his race car and definitely knows the nuts and bolts in that thing. As he comes down to take the white flag now, as he's got a straightaway lead over the 49L of Smith, Neely, and Beckett, who's doing a good job in that 08 duct tape number on the 08, but he's doing a good job trying to reel in the 74 of Neely out at turn number 4. This time it's going to be 45 Nick Sheridan for the win in the final heat of the Action Sprint Tour qualifying. Lucas Smith 2nd, Rob Neely 4th, 4th Stephen Beckett, 5th Terry Baker, and then Fraser and Young and Van Avery round out the field. Ready to go in this first heat race modified. Trevor Wright, Dylan Davidson, Austin Wood, Tyler Willard, Mike Bowman, and Matt Williamson is the field. Here we go to starter Tom Beal's green flag. Wright gets a good start on the 73 of Davidson. Wright had the advantage down on the bottom line, got the power down, and takes the lead. Wood looking now to the inside of Wright, but Wood had to slow up a little bit. Now Bowman throws it on the inside, moving up from that 5th starting spot. He's into 3rd as Willard throws her in 3 wide in the middle of Williamson and Davidson.
Real tight racing through 1 and 2. Everybody fighting for that inside, but here comes Matt Williamson up on the outside. He's the first driver to really test it up there early in this one. Meanwhile, Austin Wood goes to the lead. Thought about it as Trevor Wright shuts it down. Trevor Wright will still hang on to the lead. Great job by Trevor Wright to hang on to the lead as Austin Wood, Bowman, and Williamson give chase.
Williamson looking for the bite on that high side. This time finds it as Bowman gets a little crossed up out of 2. As now Austin Wood pries open the 09 of Wright and able to keep her down there this time as Wood's going to lead that time over the 09 of Wright, 71 of Bowman. Williamson now rolling the middle, trying to move in on Bowman as Willard. He ain't out of this one either as he gets down to the bottom of Williamson out of turn number 2 that time.
Austin Wood trying to do right by his Peters Construction Group sponsor tonight. Peters on the side of the car. It's their night tonight. And at halfway, Austin Wood is representing Peters well, leading the opening heat here in the S&W Service Center 358 Modifieds.
Williamson in that 6 dips a right rear into the moat down the front straightaway, looking for that extra bite, throws up a cloud of dust. Now tucks back to the bottom of 3 and 4. That time lets her drift out. He's looking for some bite around the outside of that 71. Bowman following the 1 XP right now of Wood. Wood doing a good job in that lead. As now Willard in that 777 looking to move up by the 09 of Wright for that 4th spot now.
Wright hangs tough for 4th. Meanwhile, the top 3 cars trying to break away in this one. Popsicle sticks in the air for Austin Wood. 2 laps to go, and he leads it by about 3 car lengths over Mike Bowman. Williamson still testing that outside, but not really finding much up there early. He cuts to the inside of 3 and 4. White flag in the air. Final time around for Austin Wood.
Definitely a lot of bite in these Bicknell cars out front as they're carrying the left front coming out of 4. Definitely lots of bite as they're able to carry the left front on this slick surface. And now into 3 and 4 final time. 1 XP, that's going to be Austin Wood for the heat win. Followed by 71 of Bowman, 6 of Williamson, 777 of Willard, 09 of Wright, and the 73 of Davidson rounds out the field.
Heat number 2 in this one. Derek Van Mill scheduled to go on pole in the 2 Cool alongside of Todd Gordon in the 28. Then it's Tim Jones out of Port Robinson, Ontario in the 15J. Pete Bicknell will start 4th in the 42. Darren Peters will start 5th in the 1P. And Tom Neal in the 2X rounds out the field of 6 cars in heat number 2 in the S&W Service Center 358 Mods.
Good to see the 2X back of Neil. He had to take a week or 2 off to repair some damage that occurred a couple weeks ago. Good to see him back. As we've got Van Mill and Todd Gordon, your lead cars coming to the green flag this time. Gordon going to be looking for the jump from that outside. Van Mill going to be looking for a good start. Bicknell and Jones in behind them. We've got a little crossed up out of 4. Green flag is out as Gordon does get the good jump off that high side into turn number 1 and 2. He's going to lead him as Van Mill looks to get the bite out of 2, but it's going to be Todd Gordon leading down the back straightaway over Van Mill, Bicknell, and Tim Jones.
Gordon and Van Mill made a little bit of contact coming to the green flag as they door slammed up off of 4. Again, tight racing between Bicknell and Jones. And here comes Pete Bicknell on the outside trying to find a way around Van Mill.
Bicknell doing a good job in that 42 to try to find bite. He's been able to even find a little bit. As now he rolls the middle around the outside of Van Mill, but Van Mill slides up and blocks the process of 42 as now Jones and Bicknell bang doors a little bit into turn number 1 and 2 for that 3rd spot.
Down the back straightaway, Van Mill now to the outside as Jones gets by the 2 Cool. Pete Bicknell trying to follow suit as he goes to the bottom through 3 and 4. Van Mill fights back on the outside. All this happening behind our leader, Todd Gordon, who's in control of this one. Don't forget about Darren Peters in the 1P as he's peeking his nose to the inside of the 42. Tight racing for about 3rd on back.
Peters looking good in that 1 car. Sponsor of the night wants to have a good run in that number 1. Austin Wood just won the last heat in his other car, so Peters definitely looking for a good run in that 1P as well, as Gordon also running good out front of this one as now he slips up a little bit, and that allows the 15J of Jones to sneak in. Jones definitely right on the bumper. We've got one around in turn number middle of 1 and 2. That is the 2X of Tom Neal around, and we are going to have to go yellow.
So the 2X of Neal loops it. We go under yellow with Gordon out front of Jones, Bicknell, Peters, Van Mill.
Gordon nice and slow. Field behind him nice and tight. Square and even out of turn 4. Green flag is out. We're going to continue this one with 3 to go in this 8-lap heat for the 358 Modifieds. Gordon into turn number 1 and 2. Top 4 are going to follow each other down in the bottom of turn number 1 and 2. Bicknell in the 3rd spot gets a little bit of bite, moves in on the 15J of Jones into turn number 3.
Everybody trying to find their grip right around the lowest part of the racetrack. Nobody better at that than Pete Bicknell, who pretty much invented that line around Merrittville Speedway, and he has also perfected it. But right now, he is on the chase as Jones and Gordon are getting away by about a half car length down the back straightaway. Todd Gordon still in control as the white flag waves.
4 more corners for Todd Gordon as he looks to pick up the heat win in that Blue Moon Potatoes number 28. Now Darren Peters in the Peters car. Throws her to the inside of Bicknell, pries him open. We're going to have a battle for the 3rd spot here on this last lap. Turn 3 and 4 for the final time. 28 of Gordon leads her out of turn number 4. Checker flag in the air. It's going to be Gordon over Jones, Peters, Bicknell, Van Mill, and the 2X of Neal.
Scott Wood put up a valiant effort against Gary Lindbergh last weekend, but came up short. Green flag in the air. Podwinski and Pierce lead him down into 1. Chevalier trying to find a way by Wood for 3rd, but Scott Wood fights back on the outside. Wood, a driver who traditionally loves the outside groove here at Merrittville. He cuts to the middle, though. They're 3 wide for 2nd.
Great battle for that 2nd spot. Pierce in that 88 doing a good job to run the high side as he's getting a little bit of bite now. He's rolling the middle, but Chevalier in that number 12 on the bottom. Rick's delivery machine in the 12 gets to the inside now of Pierce. He moves in that 2nd spot. Carlton into 4th as he makes a little bit of a mistake that time. Opens up the door for Wood to get back under him out of 4 for that 4th spot. Wood and Carlton in a good battle for 4th now.
Not sure that Fast Freddie Carlton didn't clip the inside barrier that last time through 3 and 4. Either way, he's still carrying that left front and sending it down into 3 and 4 once again on the inside of Pierce. Top 2 single file as Carlton battles with Pierce for 3rd.
Fast Freddy in that Bonesmobile. Tim Hortons number 96 definitely got the bite in her as he carries the left front wheel all the way down the back straightaway, sets her down into 3 and 4. He's got a little bit of bite dialed into that 96. He's looking to move down on the 12 of Chevalier, but Podwinski in that 72 definitely doing a good job out front of this one. The young driver in that 72 leading this final heat race of the night for the modifieds.
Podwinski out in front by about a car length as Heavy Chevy closes in once again. Gets a great run into the corner, but can't seem to find the speed or the power down the front stretch to close in on Podwinski.
Pierce now in the 88 switches to the bottom side of the speedway, trying to hold on to that 4 spot, trying to keep last week's feature winner $2,500 at Humberstone. Scott Wood behind him, but out front doing a really good job as he comes to 2 to go this time. Is that 72 of Podwinski.
2 laps to go. Tanner Podwinski out front has done a great job thus far in the modifieds. Showed speed at times, has led for multiple laps in features. Hasn't been able to put a whole night together yet, but as he takes the white flag, Tanner Podwinski one more time around to wrap up the Heat 3 victory.
Podwinski rolls the middle that time and gets an even better bite down the back straightaway. Pulls away a little bit on the 12 of Chevalier, who's going to have one final effort. Carlton's going to try a different line. Chops her down off the bottom. As its checker flag is out, it's going to be Podwinski with a good job to pick up the win over Chevalier. Carlton, Pierce, Wood, and Brian Page rounds out the field in that number 43 car.
As we get ready to go in the James Auto V6s, let's take a look at how they will line up in this one. In the starting pole position, it's Tina Ronning out of Stevensville, Ontario. Jordan Fiddler will line up 2nd in the 22F. Then it's Josh Dimitro in the 801. John Couture's in the 0. Dustin Duga from Welland, Ontario has won the last 4 events, I believe, in the V6s. He has on quite a streak. He looks to continue his winning ways from the 5th position on the grid. Then it's James Small out of St. Catharines, Ontario in the 10, and Jeff Marsh out of Welland in the 14A rounds out the field.
First feature of the night, so that's going to be our first appearance for our pace car. That's the U-Pick Auto Parts SML Recycling pace car, and it pulls into the infield. And we're going to go green here tonight for the James Auto V6 cylinder feature. First feature of the night. Green flag is out, and the 22 of Fiddler gets a good run into turn number 1 and 2. Couture in the 0 car on the middle. Rolling the middle is now he's going to look to the inside of Fiddler out of turn number 2. We've got a battle for the lead side by side down the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway, Couture, Fiddler, side by side, door to door. Here comes Duga on the outside. He's trying to get alongside of the 801 of Dimitro, but it's John Couture in the 0 Batman ride to the point early in this one. Fiddler works on the outside of Dimitro now, trying to hang on a second. Dimitro working the bottom side, while Duga is trapped behind those two up on the high side, can't do anything.
Duga in that 14 double D looking fast, looks to the inside. Now a Fiddler down to the bottom side. Dimitro in the 801 holding on to second. Couture clicks off another lap as now we're 2 laps in the books in this 12-lap V6 feature. As now at the back, we've got Ronning and the 14A of Marsh, who are side by side, as now Marsh takes over the final spot from the 27 of Ronning.
Top 4, single file and almost under a blanket as here comes Duga looking to the outside of Dimitro, but Dimitro goes low in the 801. A couple cars around on the high side. I believe that's Ronning who spun in 3 and 4, and that will bring out a yellow. Not sure if there was contact between Ronning and the 14.8 of Marsh, but either way, we're back under yellow, and we will once again see the U-Pick Auto Parts SLM Recycling Mini Cooper pace car outpacing this field.
Green flag is out. We are racing once again in this 6-cylinder feature here tonight as Dimitro gets a good run in that 802. But Couture throws her in real hard on the bottom, slides up in front, almost a little slide job there out of the 0 of Couture to keep the lead.
Bit of contact there between Dimitro and Duga as Duga tried to sail it in on the inside, made contact with the left rear of the 801 of Dimitro. We'll see if there's any damage to the Ed's hydraulic 801 for Dimitro. He works for the lead to the inside of Couture as Duga washes up the racetrack, and the battle is on for the lead.
Don't look now, but here comes that 14 double D of Duga. He's worked into the 3rd spot now, looking to gain in as the 0 car makes a mistake that time out of turn number 4, opens up the door for the 801. We've got a battle for the lead under the starter stand that time as they click off lap 5. Dimitro looking to the inside of Couture now for the lead as Couture made a mistake out of 4.
John Couture, the Batman ride, out in front for now, but Josh Dimitro in the 801 is working hard. Can't get to the inside that time through 3 and 4. We'll see what he's got up off the corner as Duga is lurking there as well. Coming to the halfway this time, John Couture leads him as we've got a 3-car breakaway heading into turn 1 and 2.
Duga now getting ever so close to that top 2, just lurking in behind them, waiting for his move to make his pounce and see if he can click off another one here at Merrittville as he kicks her sideways as Couture makes that mistake again, pushes up across the 4, opens up the door for the 801, but he's got a lot of power, and that 0 car is able to beat him down into turn number 1.
Couture leaves the door open on the bottom side of 1 and 2, but Dimitro can't find the grip or the speed to take advantage of it. Duga is there as well in the 14 double D. Couture, oh, big slide from John Couture as he just bites it. And now we were 3 wide at the stripe for the lead. Couture is going to drop from 1st to 3rd.
Couture now clips the inside wall and gets into the 108 of Dimitro and now gets into him again out of 2. Couture and Dimitro having problems there, run into each other a little bit as now that opened up the door for the 14 of Duga. Duga, like I said, was just waiting, and now he is your leader by a half straightaway over the 801 of Dimitro.
Not what the field wanted to see, but that is exactly what Dustin Duga wanted to see as he is driving away. Tight battling between Couture and Fiddler now for 3rd. Coming to 2 laps to go. Dustin Duga. Some chaos in front of him. He takes advantage, and now he's trying to run away with it over Josh Dimitro, Fiddler, and Couture.
Duga definitely taking advantage of the slamming bang, and that occurred ahead of him. I don't know if he was going to be able to get by cleanly because he was definitely there battling side by side ahead of him. But he did a good job to pounce on that mistake as he comes now to the white flag for that 14 double D of Duga over the 108 of Dimitro and the 22 of Fiddler, who's moved up now into the 3rd spot.
Final time down the back straightaway for Dustin Duga in the 14 double D. He's out front by about 3/4 of a straightaway advantage over Josh Dimitro. Dimitro, a survivor in this one, but he's going to be awfully upset with both Couture and himself. As checkers in the air, Dustin Duga will win the feature once again here in the James Auto V6s over Dimitro, Fiddler. And then I believe Marsh gets the 4th position over James Small in the 10, who finishes 5th.
Dustin Duga pulls into the Merrittville victory lane here. Feature win, 5th in a row. Ladies and gentlemen, climbing out of the car, give him a hand for the 14 Double D, Dustin Duga. Dustin, good job here tonight. You were just hanging there in third watching the two guys go at it, and then they got together, opened up for you. Is that what you were doing, just waiting back, waiting for your move, or do you think they had you, or were you going to be able to win without that contact, or what do you think?
I was just kind of hanging back, watching what they were doing, just waiting for that opening. I didn't want to cause a caution or nothing, but we were able to slide through there and hold down the rest of the race, and yeah.
Yeah, you've definitely been doing a good job. This 14 Double D's been really fast. I'm sure you got a lot of people here to help, people to thank. A lot of feature wins for you, so tell you who helps you out on this super fast 14 Double D.
I would like to thank James from Weekend Motorsports. I would like to thank Big Marcos, MCO Water, all my other sports. Yeah, everybody else, and that's about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for tonight's James Auto 6-cylinder feature winner, multiple-time feature winner in a row. It's Dustin Duga in the 14 Double D. All right, Jonathan, now we got the push truck starting to push off this B main for our action sprint tour, and I'm going to give you the lineup on the pole. Out of Oshweekon in the 99, that's Joshua Hill into his outside. In the 12 Double D, that's Darren Dryden out of Freelton. Inside, row 2, 14T out of Hagersville, that's Noelle Teal to her outside. In the 94, that's Ryan Fraser out of Rockwood. Inside, row number 3, 5th starting spot out of Oshweekon in the MK8, that's Matt Hill into his outside. In the 51 out of Ancaster, that's Trevor Young. Inside, row 4, 7th starting spot from Thamesford in the 14, that's Larry Gledhill to his outside. 8th starting spot, Cody Smith out of Delhi in the 49C. Inside, row 4, 9th spot out of Dorchester, 48M, that's Andrew Marshall to his outside. Out of Port Perry 4B, that's Daryl Peltier. Last row, row number 6, 11th starting spot out of Oshweekon, 77. That's rookie Ashton Van Avery into his outside, also out of Oshweekon, rounding out the field. 12th starting spot, 9C, Brian Nanakoke.
They will fire together at the orange cone in 4, and we'll get the Action Sprint Tour consie underway. Believe we're going to be calling that restart back potentially, as Joshua Hill in the 99 really jumped it early. And that's going to move the 14T of Teal up to the pole position. Travis, maybe that's one of those things you talk about, the anxiety, the anxious moments. You're overthinking about that restart, and now Hill makes that mental mistake coming to green.
Tom Beals, your starter, waving that green flag. Here we go out of 4. We're going to have a green flag this time. Green flag is out. Teal gets a little bit of a good jump out of turn number 4. Dryden in the 12 hits the top side. Going to drive around, see if he can get some bite on the top side of 4. Teal slows up, and Dryden's going to carry the momentum into turn number 3 and 4. Dryden now shoots her in on the high side of 4. Let's see what happens if Teal can get the bite out of 4. Who's going to lead the first lap? It's going to be Dryden over Teal, Hill, and Fraser in that 94.
Teal trying to make hay on the bottom side off of 4. Got a little tight. Saw the car kind of oversteer and then quickly snap to an understeer in it. Noelle Teal makes the save and hangs on to second, but Dryden in the DD Graphics 12 DD is out in front.
Josh Hill now holding on to that third spot, trying to get around on the outside. He's got to run down the back straightaway on the 14 of Teal, who's down on the bottom. Dryden in your lead. He's running the cross line. He's going in high in 3 and 4 and cutting it down at the bottom of 4. Is now the 99 of Hill. Gets around Teal and breaks down the front straightaway. I don't know what happened there. Car died or something, but now the car picks up. But Josh Hill definitely had a moment there down the front straightaway. Don't know what happened, but he's now back under green and looks like full song into 3.
Strange incident there for Joshua Hill as he came off of 4 and it looked like the car just stopped. And then as soon as he hit the finish line, he found the gas once again. He hangs on to 3rd for now. As Trevor Young, who runs 5th right now, he's trying to break his way into the top 4 using that high side. can't make up any ground on the 94 right now.
Young in that 51 sees the 94. Fraser on the bottom. He knows that's the transfer spot. He's going to be licking his chops, digging, trying to get that final transfer into tonight's feature. As this time by, we're coming to halfway down for the 12 double D of Darren Dryden. Halfway down over for Dryden over Teal, Hill, and Ryan Fraser, your transferred cars at the moment.
Trying to make some hay at the back of the pack. You can see the 4 battling with the 9C of Nanacoke. Nanacoke in the 4, that is the tightest battle on the racetrack. That's about for 7th though. Up at the front, Dryden not too far away from starting to encounter lap traffic.
Lap cars on the bottom, that's where Dryden is running. He's going to hope this one runs out before he gets there. He's going to have to make some decisions as the lap cars are running all over the speedway in front of him. Teal now in the 14, starting to close the gap a little bit. Hill in the 99 and still Fraser rounding out the top 5. Young in that 51 not able to move in on the 94 of Fraser as he still sits 1 spot out in that 51.
Fraser riding comfortably in that 4th spot. Not a lot of pressure from behind from Young, but he's starting to work over Hill. Hill goes up to the middle groove, the 88, as our leaders start to encounter lap traffic, turning our attention back to the battle for the lead because that actually is a battle. Dryden up high. Here comes Noel Teal down low in the 14.
Dryden might be taking it easy a little behind these lap cars. He doesn't know what to do as they're definitely in the lane that he wants. This time he's going to go in on the bottom. Teal sees that, but he crosses it over. Good job by the 12 double D of Dryden to cross under both lap cars there and hold the lead now as the white flag is out.
Tight racing there with the 49C of Smith, but Dryden still out in front of this one. Coming to the 3 and 4 for the final time. Dryden trying to hang on. He'll win it. Then it'll be Teal who brings it home second. Fraser gets by Hill, but both of them will also be advancing as they finish 3rd and 4th. It'll be Trevor Young coming up short. All right, let's have a look at the Glow and Go Tanning 4 cylinders, making a couple late changes to the schedule and how they're going to go off in this one. But Danny Worcester, who was scheduled to go on pole, not going to make the feature in this one. So that moves Courtney Kokerick up to the pole position alongside of Ray Sorrenzia from Port Colborne, Ontario in the 71C. Then starting 3rd will be Tyler LaFontazie in the 96T alongside of Fabio Oliveri from Ancaster, Ontario in the 16. Starting 5th will be Randy Alway from St. Anne's, Ontario in the 34 alongside of Braden Cuse in the 7B. Then it's Kenny Hare in the 5K starting 7th, moving up alongside of Jordan Denobriga. Then it's Trevor DeBoer who will move up inside the top 10 and start 9th alongside of Kyle Rothwell. Starting 11th will be Rob Shaw in the 519 who will start alongside of Nick Erskine in the 64. Starting 13th will be Austin Worcester who moves up alongside of Olivier Larocque in the 91. Then it's Dylan Lord moving up. He will start alongside of Anthony Kelly. Then it's Matthew Moore in the 14M alongside of the 12M of Mark Deagle. Then Richard Hadler will move up as well to the inside of row number 10 alongside Mike Giberson, the pinball. And then starting shotgun on the field will be Rob Twitchett, as we're also missing Jay Moulton. Green flag in the air. And it's Oliveri taking a great start, and he'll split the difference and go to the lead down into 1 and 2. The 16 took advantage of a slow front row. He splits them, and down the back straightaway, it's Fabio with the lead as Randy Alway is around in the 34.
Alway throws her into reverse. We might be able to avoid a yellow here. Is also the 13 of Dylan Lord, but he's not going to get going in that 13, and we're going to have to go yellow for the 13 of Lord in turn number 2.
Dylan Lord was also involved in that one, and he could not quite get the truck going, and that brings us out under yellow, and now Dylan Lord will feel the heel of the Church of the Yellow Flag and get that car moving.
Green flag going to be in the air this time by for the Glow and Go 4 cylinders. 15 lap feature, 1 down, 14 to go. Green flag's out. Olivieri gets a great start off the middle of the track in that 16. He's going to cross across the bottom. and take it away from LaFontaine into turn number 1 and 2. Hare gets loose on the top side. That's going to open up the door for Rothwell, but Hare crosses down back across and blocks Rothwell, who's now to the outside of the 3K. Kokerick going into turn number 3 for the 4th spot.
Great racing action from 10th on back, maybe 7th on back, as Denebriga, DeBoer, and Erskines are 3 wide coming down the front stretch. They're trying to break themselves into the top 5. Meanwhile, Kyle Rothwell making some hay on the outside. He's now going to run up and challenge Fabio Oliveri in the 16 for 2nd. All this happening behind Tyler LaFontaine as here comes Kenny Hare shoving his 5K. Oh, 1 car around. That's the 3K of Kokerick. And wow, great job by pretty much everybody. Maybe Cuse got a little piece of that, but great job by the field to miss that one as Kokerick spins from 6th place in front of the entire field, and we're back under yellow.
Tough break for the 3K of Courtney Kokerick there. She got spun around. 7 of, Cuse got a little piece there, but before that, while Jonathan was talking there, I was watching the 13 of Dylan Lord, who was in that last caution, as he's already wheeled that 13 truck up to about the 5th or 6th spot, so definitely not messing around.
Lord back up there. DeBoer, Denebriga, Erskine, Sorenzia, Deagle. That is your top 10 as they run. Green flag back in the air. It's LaFontaine with a great jump down into turn 1. Kenny Hare all over the back of the 96T. Oliveri feels some pressure from behind as Rothwell works to the outside of Hare. Good battling amongst the top 5.
LaFontaine got a good start in that 96. Hare now to the inside of the 16 of Oliveri. Slides up. Almost got a piece, but they stay clean out of 4 side by side for that 2nd spot. Oliveri on the top side, Hare on the bottom. LaFontaine in the lead. Rothwell doesn't know where to go in that 114 as he gets crossed up behind the 5 and the 16, and that opens the door for the 31 of DeBoer as we're yellow. We got one around on the top side of 4. That's V71, I think. Nope. 71C of Ray Sorenzia. Around on the top side of 4. That's the reason for the yellow is we're still 3 laps in. 12 to go in this 4-cylinder feature.
LaFontaine and Hare. LaFontaine brings him in real slow. He'll get the jump on Hare. Rothwell's going to give a push to Hare down the front straightaway. A little bump drafting here at Merrittville Speedway as Kyle Rothwell trying to make the move to 2nd. He gets to the inside of the 5K, and they're side by side down the backstretch.
Rothwell looking fast in that 114, looking to move in on the 96 of LaFontaine. Now those two have gone side-by-side battles here for lots of times for the feature winner. We've got another one around all the way again in that 34. Oh, and we've got Sorenzia who piles into the back of the car that hit the 34. I couldn't quite see who that was.
I believe that's the 7 of Denebriga that was involved in that one as well. As we got a little bit of a pile up in turn 4. And we're back under yellow in the glow and go tanning 4 cylinders.
As the green flag is out, LaFontaine and Rothwell race under this green flag.
Cream rising to the top in the 4 cylinders, and no better than our front row right now. Top 2 cars, LaFontaine and Rothwell, they go down the back straightaway, and Rothwell's trying to make a move to the outside of LaFontaine. Hare and Kelly battle there for 3rd. Hare's going to slide up in front, slide job, he'll clear Kelly, and that opens the door for Austin Worstro, who's trying to break his way up from the 5th spot.
Yeah, nice mini stock slide job there out of the 5 of Kenny Hare, but the 12 now crosses back over. He's going to run back down the back straightaway to the inside of the 5 of Hare. Kelly now back to the 3rd spot as we've got a battle for the lead. Rothwell on the top side. LaFontaine looks like he clipped the inside berm that time, and that's going to allow Rothwell to lead that lap. But we've got 5 in the books. We've got another one sideways in 3 and 4, but they are able to collect it and keep going. That's the 64 of Nick Erson. Good job to catch it and keep going as we stay green.
Top 2 have broken away in this one. It's LaFontaine and Rothwell pacing this field, but here comes Austin Worstro. Worstro, he had, 3 wide behind them as well. Look at the move from Lord to get by Hare. Good racing amongst the top 7 here as they are really starting to stretch things out, and they want to settle it amongst themselves, but basically positions 3 through 7 are going to have to get single file if they want to start reeling in Rothwell and LaFontaine.
Now another slide job out of the 71 of Erstro, slides up in front of the 12 of Kelly. And now LaFontaine starting to gain in on Rothwell, starting to catch lap traffic. Out the back of the field, we got one around in 3 and 4. It's the 3K of Kokerick. And we are going to have to go yellow for the 3K on the bottom of turn number 4.
Second incident of the night for Courtney Kokorick, who finds herself pointed the wrong way in tricky turn 4. Green flag back in the air, and Rothwell with the jump.
Great start by the 114 of Rothwell. He's going to lead him into turn number 1 and 2. Kelly on the high side now, looking to get a run on the 96 of the Fantasy down the back straightaway, side by side through the top 10. DeBoer now into the 5th spot in that 31. Lord throws it in on the inside of him, looking to get the spot back in the 13 truck as they come out of turn number 4, side by side through the top 6. Rothwell, the Fantasy, Kelly, Worstrow, DeBoer, Lord, and DeBoer is your top 6 at the moment.
Rothwell leads it. Kelly on the outside trying to take away 2nd spot. Worstrow lurking there in 4th. Everybody trying to find a way around Lafontaine to get up there and start to challenge Kyle Rothwell before he runs away with this one. Top 5 under a blanket, but Rothwell leads it by about 3 car lengths as they work down the backstretch.
Rothwell, if he had a rear view mirror, he'd like what he sees as they're side by side, even 3 wide for the 5th spot behind him as he's able to pull away a little bit in the 114. LaFantasy and Kelly, Worstrow and DeBoer, both side by side as they battle through spots 2 through 5. Lord waiting for a move as he's blocked in as they're all side by side in front of him. We've got a slow one on the front straightaway. That's the 519 of Rob Shaw. We'll see what happens with that car as he's definitely slow rolling through 1 and 2.
Down the front stretch. Actually, a little bit of damage, it looks like, to Rothwell's car. Looks like maybe the door is coming open on the right side of that vehicle, but not slowing him down any. Rothwell leads it. Speaking of a slow car, here's the 519 of Shaw trying to get to the inside of the field. Problem for Rob Shaw. Meanwhile, at the front, 2 laps to go. Kyle Rothwell in front with 2 to go.
2 to go, signed that time by Rothwell. 8 more corners and he will be tonight's feature winner, but the 12 of Anthony Kelly, he ain't done yet. He's starting to reel in that number 114. The Fantasy starting to fade a bit in the 96 is now Worstrow in the 71's all over him. Gets a little shot as the white flag's out this time for the Rothwell in the 114.
Final time around Merrittville Speedway for Kyle Rothwell. This might come down to Rothwell and Kelly as Kelly is looking. He's about a car length. He looks to close that car length through 3 and 4. Final time through 3 and 4. Kelly is there. Can't get to the back of Rothwell. Kyle Rothwell picks up another checkered flag over Anthony Kelly, Austin Worstrow, Tyler Lafontaine, and Trevor DeBoer rounds out your top 5. And speaking of hitting the jackpot, Kyle Rothwell back in victory lane. I'm counting 6 win stickers. You're about to pull the 50-50 number, and you get win number 7 here at Merrittville. Tell us about the drive, Kyle.
Yeah, the car hasn't been right since I wadded it up. We won here with it, but it had something weird about it. It was pushing, it wasn't handling right. We found a seized caliper on it, and Aaron and Tyler helped me fix it up this week because I've been busy with Hannah's car day in and day out trying to figure that car out. These guys are nice enough to lend their time and make sure that this thing's running perfect every Saturday night.
Who do you want to thank for the win tonight, Kyle?
All-Star Concrete, Louise Sweet Retreat, Cutter Up Designs, TC Decals, Rob's Transmission, Pet Value, Port Colborne, Harvey's, my wife, everybody on this team here, they put in time and that's invaluable and stuff like this.
Pole in the 50, that's Dylan Slider. To his outside, that's his sister in the 6S, that's Riley Slider. Inside, row number 2, 3rd starting spot, that's their cousin in the 17, Josh Slider. To his outside, Slider owns this car, that's the 27 of Sean Iftati. Inside, row number 3, 5th starting spot in the 26, that's RJ Pitts, won his heat tonight, and his outside is the 4 of Tyler Winger. Inside, row number 4, 7th starting spot out of Mount Hope, that's Jeffrey May in the 23, and his outside in the 24 is Randy Giroux. Inside, row number 4, 9th starting spot in the 16, that's Brent Bigelow, and to his outside, 291, Dave Cornish. 11th starting spot, 07, that's Chris Watson. To his outside, 15, that's Tim Anderson. 13th starting spot. 74, that's Marty DeMol to his outside. 09, Sean Slider. And rounding out the field, last row, 8K, that's Dan Curving, and his outside, 44, Ryan Anderson.
You Pick Auto Parts, SLM Recycling, pace car rolling. We'll get the field rolling in the mod lights here. Got to thank RM Racing Lubricants for being a part of things as well. As the Rothwell family and friends still clearing their way across the racetrack down the backstretch.
Coming for white this time by. As I look through the field, looks like the 15 of Tim Anderson not able to make the call for this feature. He was the one that had the problem in his heat race in the front stretch wall. Tough break for him as the inside row will move up from his starting spot forward.
Lights out. Looking forward to seeing who can run up and take the win once again. We've had a few different winners visiting Victory Lane in the mod lights lately. Pace car in. Dylan Slider, Riley Slider. Green flag in the air. 3 sliders battle for the lead down into turn 1. Dylan on the inside. Josh is cut through to the middle. He's going to try to take the lead in the 17 down the back straightaway.
Josh Slider in that Savage chassis doing a good job to take the lead away from his cousin, the 50 of Dylan Slider. Definitely a bit of a Slider factory, always has been in this mod light division. As Josh gets the lead in that 17, and then it's Dylan, RJ Pitts, and the 27 of Sean Iftati is your top 4 at the moment.
Coming up through the field now is Tyler Winger, who's worked his way up inside the top 5 after starting 6th. He's battling there with Riley Slider in the 6S. And here comes Randy Giroux, who secured his first feature win in a mod light just a few weeks ago. Battling there with Winger. Top 5, single file down the back stretches. Here comes Pitts to make a pass on Dylan Slider.
Pitts, good job now into the second spot. Able to hold the line and hold the second spot now off of turn number 4 as we're 3 wide for the 4 spot with Winger, Iftati, and the 24 Giroux making good hay on the top side now as he gets around the 27 Iftati. Giroux into the top 5 in that number 24 and also looking for 4th as he drives her into the top side. Giroux definitely not afraid to look for the bite on that high side.
Giroux upstairs, Winger down low. They battle for 4th. Winger has it in the 4 car, but he's held up by Dylan Slider on the inside. That's allowing Giroux to really hang tough on that outside. Winger looks to the inside, thought about splitting the difference, couldn't do it. Giroux now trying to make the pass on the outside, and he's looking to maybe get both as Winger, Slider, and Giroux come down the front stretch for 4th.
Awesome battle through 3rd through the top 10 right now as it's still Giroux on the high side trying to battle with that 50th Slider. Here comes Winger now to the inside of Slider on the bottom. They almost thought it for a second to go 3 wide. Bigelow slowly moving up in that 16, always fast in the 16, but just kind of been blocked in behind all these other cars who are going side by side and even 3 wide down the front straightaway with Giroux, who holds the middle and looks to move into the 3rd spot with that 24.
Giroux on the outside, Winger now down low, still fighting tough in the 4. Past 2 feature winners here in the mod lights. Brent Bigelow as well has picked up a few feature wins in the 16. And here comes Chris Watson, who's been close and looking to break through for a feature win.
Watson had that little problem in his heat, looking to rebound from it as he moves into the 6th spot behind the 16 of Bigelow. Jeffrey May in that new car in the 23 looking to the outside of Watson. He's definitely not going away in this feature as Slider clicks off another lap, but the 26 of RJ Pitts, don't look now, is in on the back door of his car owner, Josh Slider.
Field tightening up at the front. Josh Slider and RJ Pitts setting up to do duel. Down on the inside, Pitts can't find a way by. Slider shuts the door. Down the front stretch, Slider starts to stretch things back out by about a half car length. as RJ Pitts still starts to work over the back bumper of Josh Slider.
Randy Drew still on the top side in that 24. Bigelow trying to move in on the bottom. Bigelow trying to move up. Now he drives her in hard in the 3 and 4, but Drew does the cross line, the driving school line out of 3 and 4 as he goes in high in 3 and 4 and cuts across the bottom and gets good run down the front straightaway.
Bigelow lurking there in 5th spot as we got lap traffic now in front of our leaders. I believe that's the 8K of curving that is up first, and RJ Pitts has the 8K in his way, and that's going to allow Slider to get away even further now. Josh Slider searching up the racetrack up high, trying to find some speed. Knows that the lap cars want to work down low, and Josh Slider starts to stretch things out even further.
Pitts now on the bottom side trying to move on the 17 of Slider, who has switched his lines, trying to ring her around the top. Now Winger has moved into 4th in that 4th spot. And the 16 of Bigelow still battling with the 07 of Watson. They are going hard at it for that 5th spot. Bigelow has it now, looking to move in on Drew. And here comes May. He's still not going away in that 23, who now moves to the outside of Watson in the 07.
Slider and Pitts now side by side for a brief moment up off the corner. RJ Pitts settles back into line as they work through 1 and 2. It's Pitts. And now Winger up to 3rd. Tyler Winger starting to draw a bead on the top 2. Battle for the lead could become a 3-car battle as Bigelow, Watson, Giroux, and May all slice and dice from 4th on back.
"14 laps in, 6 to go for this 17 of Slider, who now is definitely feeling the pressure from Pitts as we got one around in turn number 1 and 2. It is the 23 of May in that 23 car. He gets her spun around, but the yellow flag has already come out.
Tough break for Jeffrey May, who's dialing in a new race car tonight.
And could not see what was going on behind him as we're ready to go green now out of 4. Hammers her down as Pitts gets a great start in that 26. Slider spun the tires in the middle. Definitely maybe not the smartest idea to start on the high side as he couldn't get the bite down in the middle of 3 and 4. Now Pitts is your leader, but Slider is starting to get her wound up again on the top, and he's trying to move back in on the 26 of Pitts for that lead.
I was surprised to see Josh Slider elect to take that outside groove, but he's committed to it now. Tyler Winger down low trying to take away the 2nd spot as RJ Pitts is trying to run away with this thing. RJ Pitts has clean racetrack in front of him and 2 hungry drivers behind him. Josh Slider's going to clear the 4, and look at the run he gets down the D-shaped backstretch. Here comes Josh Slider. Oh, he's going to loop it. Josh Slider goes around, and that'll bring out a yellow. Wow, what a move for Josh Slider. Went from hero to 0, unfortunately, real fast as that backstretch move was so good and he just couldn't hang on to it as he worked through the outside of turn 4.
Real good run into 4, just a little bit too much gas pedal on exit there for the 17 of Slider. He got in a slick spot and went around as he's going to go to the 8 of his pit crew to see if there's anything wrong with that 17.
Back to green flag. Great start from Pitts and Watson.
Winger now on the high side trying to get around the 07 of Watson, who did a good job to hit the bottom side at 1 and 2. Winger now with the momentum down into turn number 3 side by side for that 2nd spot. Who's it going to be at the line out at turn number 4? 4 laps to go this time for the 26 of Pitts. Watson over Winger, Bigelow, and Iftati, the top 5 at the moment.
Big moment down the front stretch as Giroux washed up the racetrack and forced Iftati into the moat, and I thought for a second it might force him into the wall. They're still jockeying for position. Meanwhile, at the front, it's RJ Pitts. Winger and Watson battle for 2nd. Winger finds the grip on the outside. He powers down the front stretch, and he's going to make a challenge for the lead, it looks like. Can't get alongside RJ Pitts as still Watson lurks down low.
Winger getting a good run now, moving in on the 26 of Pitts, who does a good job to just take her easy into 3 and 4, hold that line. As now he gets a little tight out of 4, though, opens up the door for the 07 of Watson at 2 to go. We've got a 3-car battle for the lead, and don't look now as maybe a 4-car battle as Bigelow is slowly creeping up there in the 16.
Lap and a half to go as they work down the back straightaway. Watson goes for the lead. Here comes Winger. It's a 3-car battle. Watson smartly backs out of it, but as the white flag waves, who's going to lead this lap? It's Watson who gets by Pitts on the inside, and here comes Winger. They're side by side down into 1 and 2.
Watson made a mistaken his heat race, but he's looking to undo that mistake in a big way as he's your leader down into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Winger throws it on the high side, but looks like it might not be enough. Out of turn number 4 to the checker flag, it's going to be Watson over Winger, Pitts, Bigelow, May, Iftati, Giroux, slider, another slider, and 4 sliders in a row. 44, 74. It rounds out the field. Chris, handshake, awesome job tonight, buddy. You made a mistake in that heat race. You must have been kicking yourself in the bum the whole time back in the pits, but you started pretty far back in this field, made your way through the field. Well done. Tell us about your drive there. It was a really good one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a really crappy heat to say. Since we hit that front stretch wall a couple weeks back, we've been struggling to find the car. Heat wasn't so great. We were a little loose. I got to thank Chris from RCM Racing. I mean, gave a couple of tips, helped tighten the car up a little bit. Basically, my whole racing strategy was follow Brent Bigelow on that bottom line until he gave me the opportunity. And the bottom just seemed to be the only place to run tonight.
Yeah, you definitely drove a really good race. Just waited for your time. The leaders made a mistake, and you got it together. Tell us about all the people that help you on this 07. They're all happy here in Victory Lane. All your sponsors and everybody that helps you out.
Yeah, I got to thank Mez Excavating, Pro Battery, Stelfab Niagara, Dan's Produce, BTN Custom Prints, B&B Lift Truck, and David J. Fast. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be here this year.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's feature winner in the Deutsch Building Center's Mod Light Division, it's Chris Watson in the 07. Put your hands together for him.
Starting lineup in the Hoosier stocks as Victory Lane celebrations continue on. This is how they will line up. Donnie Lampman from Caister Center, Ontario goes on pole in the 28D. And then it's Jim Lampman in the 28 to his outside. Starting third will be Go Fast Teeple out of Thorold, Ontario in the 11. Dave Small starts fourth out of Port Colborne, Ontario in the 7X. Starting fifth will be Clinton Nichols from Hamilton, Ontario. 1 win away from becoming the Hamilton Hot Shoe in the 43C. Starting sixth, Devin Bacher out of Hagersville, Ontario in the 3B. Then starting seventh will be Mike Thorne in the 55. He goes alongside Ryan Beagle in the 84 RK. Starting ninth, Mark Fawcett in the 32 alongside Kyle Pelrine from Smithville, Ontario in the 47X. Ron Logie will start 11th out of Burlington, Ontario in the 97. Starting 12th will be Spencer Smolders out of Merlin, Ontario in the 21. And then Jason Fontaine starts 13th out of Port Colborne, Ontario in the 1J. He'll be alongside Rob Murray in the M1. Starting 15th, Dave Bailey in the 49 out of Hagersville, Ontario, alongside of Robbie Disher out of Grimsby, Ontario in the 17. Ken Sargent in the 25 will start 17th. Starting 18th, Rob Hoskins out of Harley, Ontario in the 37. Starting 19th, Zach Bleach from Port Robinson, Ontario in the 108. Starting 20th, Mike Lazinga out of Hagersville, Ontario in the 93K. Starting 21st will be Kevin Knapp out of Allenburg, Ontario in the 33. Starting 22nd, Adam Plazik from Caister Center, Ontario in the 41. Starting on the final row of this one, Corey Sawyer out of Niagara Falls, New York. The American making the journey up to battle in another 1J, the 1J2. Starting 23rd, and then starting 24th, shotgun on the field will be Evan Curtis out of Port Colborne, Ontario in the 2 Easy.
Coming for white this time by. Hoping for a good, clean race here in our 20 lap Hoosier Stock feature event. We've got Lampman and Lampman on the front row, father, son out of Caister Center in those 28s. Beautifully prepared machines, always looking good. And I definitely know the old man ain't going to cut the sun any breaks going into turn 1 and 2. It's going to be a good battle.
Both Lampmen showed a lot of speed last season here at Merrittville and haven't quite found what they're looking for thus far this season, but we'll see what a little track position and clean racetrack in front of them can do for them. Lights out on the U-Pick Auto Parts pace car. SLM Recycling as well on that Mini Cooper pace car, and Donnie Lampman, Jim Lampman lead the field to green. They will fire together at the orange cone in 4. Green flag in the air. Donnie gets a good start, but Jim methodically on the outside will pull ahead at the line. They battle side by side, door to door into one. Crazy start to this one as cars slice and dice through turns 1 and 2.
Definitely a crazy start to this one. Is now the Hamilton Hot Shoe. Clinton Nichols in that 43C looks to the inside of Teeple. He looks to throw it in, catches the 11C as I say that and turns him around. As now we've got a car around. That's the 11 of Teeple. And I'm not sure which car. It might be the 32 of Fawcett that got caught up and had to stop there in the bottom of turn 3 and 4. It is.
Tough break for Fawcett, as he was just an innocent bystander having to come to a stop. It looks like there's not even a scratch on that 32 after Teeple parked it right in front of the field. Teeple tagged by the 43C.
We are racing once again in this 20-lap Hoosier Stock feature as Donnie Lampman leads under the start-finish line as Jim's going to go into the high side of his son in number turn 1 and 2. Here comes Dave Small looking to the inside of the Monte Carlo, number 128 of Donnie Lampman, sorry. And here comes Beagle now into 4th in that 84K. He likes the bottom side in that 84.
All kinds of tight racing. Go Fast Teeple rejoins at the back of the pack now. Rob Murray trying to come through the middle. He gets to the inside now and look to make a move on Spencer Smolders. That's for a spot in the top 5. All kinds of chaos. Slicing and dicing is look at 3 wide for 3rd. Ryan Beagle down low. Small in the middle. And I believe that's Pelrine. Yep, Pelrine in the 47X on the outside. Hoosier Stocks all over each other early in this one.
Still Lampman in, Lampman out front, side by side is now Beagle trying to pry open the number 28D of the Monte Carlo of Donnie Lampman on the bottom side. Beagle definitely good on that bottom side. He likes the slick tracks and he likes the bottom. That's where he's always fast. He's in 3rd right now. Lampman doing a good job to hold the bottom, but Beagle pretty much on the go-kart track trying to pry open that 28 on the bottom.
Donnie Lampman doing a good job of holding tough on that inside. Jim Lampman hasn't been able to take advantage of the outside yet to make a pass. Beagle drops back off the bumper, and Kyle Pelrine pulls even. They're side by side for the first 3-4 rows as one car goes high there. I believe that's Smolders who gets shuffled out of the way. And don't look now as Rob Murray and Dave Bailey are wheeling themselves into the top 5.
Definitely lots of awesome action through our field here in the Hoosier Stock. Definitely no single file here as we're 2 wide for the 2nd spot. Now Beagle gets in there as now he got it by the son. He's looking to put his sights on the dad now of Jim Lampman out of 4. And once again down on the go-kart track. Beagle definitely getting a lot of bite on the very bottom of the front straightaway.
Ryan Beagle on the inside through turn 1 will look to clear Jim Lampman down the back straightaway. He does. Ryan Beagle in the 84 Arcade to the lead now. 3 wide behind them for 5th place. That's Bailey and Murray and Pelrine all battling there. Smolders starting to mix things up as well on the inside of Murray now.
Smolders making that long tow from Merlin. Worth it as he's into the top 5 now in that 21 rolling. Oh, we've got one couple around in turn number 1 and 2 as we thought we were going to get away with a car around in 3 and 4. But then as we say that, 3 cars around in the middle of turn 1 and 2 and we have to go yellow.
So it looks like it's Rob Murray, I believe the 1J of Fontaine, and I can't make out the other vehicle that is involved in that one. We had our eyes on Zach Bleach, who looped it in turn 4, and then 3 cars come together, and I think Murray pinched everybody down on the inside, shut the door maybe on Fontaine, and then we go under yellow.
And the 28 of Lampman. Beagle gets on the pedal first. Green flag is out as we race down into turn number 1 and 2. Donnie Lampman getting a push from the 49 of Bailey all the way down the front straightaway. Lampman getting pushed by his dad by the 49 of Bailey into turn number 1 and 2 as we're 3 wide with Small. Bailey and the 2 Lampmans is now Bailey switches up and splits the 2 Lampmans into 3 and 4. Beautiful move by the 49 of Bailey that time to pass 2 cars in 1 corner.
Dave Bailey, a master of this racetrack. Absolute artwork driving through the field. So clean, so smooth, all over the back of Donnie Lampman, smartly down the front stretch, and now he has his sights set on Beagle as Jim Lampman and Donnie Lampman still battle for 3rd. Kyle Pelrine works there as well. We'll have to see how much damage there is to the likes of Rob Murray and see if he can make his way back up through the field, as well as the 1J of Jason Fontaine.
Murray's definitely already passed about 10 cars. He works on the 97 of Ron Logie and the Hamilton Hot Shoe Clinton Nichols right now for about the 10th spot as they click off halfway down now. 10 laps in, 10 laps to go for the 84 Beagle, who is slowly starting to hear the footsteps of that 49 of Dave Bailey in 2nd.
Ryan Beagle's got to find a little extra speed if he's going to try to hold off Bailey. The top two breaking away from the field in this one is Lampman and Pellrine, and Jim Lampman up high, also still battling. Good recovery for Mark Fawcett as here he comes to the inside of Pellrine. Mark Fawcett looking to break back into the top 5 after being involved in an early incident.
Fawcett as well, definitely doing a good job to get back up there as now Pellrine crosses back under him. And now Pellrine to the inside of Fawcett into turn number 1 and 2 is side by side for the third spot. The Lampmans are still battling it out. They let the other 2 cars by, but they're still battling it for that last podium position. As right now the young man, Donnie, has it over the old man, Jim.
3 wide down into turn 1. Spencer Smolders to the inside. He's working over the Pellrine 47X and Fawcett in the high side in the 32. Here comes Rob Murray back into the fray as well. Great battle amongst the 3 through 10th spots here as they're all under a blanket, but up at the front it's still Ryan Beagle.
That's why I always love a full field of Hoosier stocks. Always great action all the way through the field as we're 13 in. Going to be 14 in, 6 to go this time by for your leader, Beagle, who's still maintaining that about half-quarter straightaway lead over the 49 of Beagle, or over the 49 of Bailey, sorry. Lampman still third with Pellrine trying to get by his dad, Jim, in the 28. Pellrine now to the inside for the 4th spot.
Ryan Beagle out front, but here comes Dave Bailey. Watch this line. He runs down the front stretch, dipping a toe into the moat and pointing it down into turn 1. That line he figured out a few weeks ago to beat Rob Murray, and he's used it ever since. And it's a fast one, but he's still not really able to get up and challenge Beagle, who still leads it. Ryan Beagle enjoying about a 3 to 4 car length lead down the front stretch.
Beagle definitely lots of bite in that 84 as he's able to maintain the lead, but best battle on the track is definitely 3rd through about 10th as we've got lots of cars side by side. 47X now pushing the 28 Lampman as they've got by dad Jim Lampman in the 28. Smolders now into the top 5 in that 21 as now Murray, as I say, that sticks his nose under the 21 as Smolders into 3 and 4 for that 5th spot. 3 wide for 5th as we speak.
Beagle and Bailey still pacing the field. Ryan Beagle in control. Donnie Lampman runs 3rd. He's got Pellrine behind him. Murray is there 3 wide with Smolders and Jim Lampman. That's for 5th place. 2 laps to go for Ryan Beagle, who's got lap traffic in front of him.
Lap cars could be a problem for the 84 Beagle. Let's see. Yes, he can get down on the bottom of the inside of the back straightaway. Beagle definitely good in that bottom lane. He runs low on the back straightaway, front straightaway, and in the corners. Beagle definitely hugging the inside, taking the shortest way around Merrittville Speedway tonight as we've got 1 to go this time for the 84 Beagle.
Ryan Beagle looking to break the Bailey Murray stranglehold here. Down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4 for the final time. Ryan Beagle has Balker to his outside. Out of 4. He does it. Ryan Beagle will take the win in the Hoosier stocks over Dave Bailey. Then the battle's on for 3rd behind them. Here comes Kyle Pellrine. Pellrine has it. Murray wants it. He's looking to the inside. Can't do it. It's Pellrine, Murray, and Smolders rounding out your top 5. Makes his way out. Joking that it's been a while as he forgets the VP Racing Fuels checkered flag. Ryan Beagle, the first man not named Murray or Bailey to win here at Merrittville this season. Tell us about the drive.
Yeah, it feels good. We got lucky with the handicapping tonight. Got to start a little closer to the front than those 2, but we had to hold them off, so we're here.
Who do you want to thank for the drive here tonight, Ryan?
I just got to thank my dad. He helps me every week. We come down here, and if we're going to Humberstone, so I just got to thank him a lot. And RK Automotive, Thompson Landscape Supply, APC Auto Parts, and Simcoe, they helped me out. So can't thank everybody enough.
Great job. Ryan Beagle, your winner here tonight in the Hoosier stocks. And we'll get ready for our Action Sprint Tour main coming up.
Here is the lineup on the pole. In the BS 39 out of Waynfleet, that's Brett Stratford, and his outside out of St. Thomas in the 4 is Jesse Costa. Inside, row number 2, 3rd starting spot, it's the point leader in the AST out of Port Colborne 5D. That's Jacob Dykstra to his outside in the 50 LS, that's Adrian Stolly out of Kitchener. Inside row 3, that's 49L, that's Lucas Smith out of Brantford to his outside. Last week's winner here in the 45, that's out of Mount Bridges, that's Nick Sheridan. Inside row 4, 7th spot out of Waterloo, Ontario in the 19D, that's Alan Downey to his outside. Heat winner tonight in the 38, that's out of Six Nation, Derek Miller. Inside, row number 4, 9th spot, out of Fawn Hill in the 08, that's Stephen Beckett to his outside. In the number 2, first start here this year, that's Lee Winger out of Caledonia. Inside, row number 6, 11th starting spot, out of Ancaster, 26X, that's Terry Baker to his outside. In the 74, out of Rockwood, that's Rob Neely. Inside, row 7, 13th spot, out of Thamesford, that's 7, Eric Ledhill to his outside. 14th spot, out of Hamilton in the 56 Burger Barn car, that's Derek Lemaire. Inside, row number 8, 15th spot, out of Bowmanville, 31, that's Dale Kernan to his outside. Out of Brampton in the 70mm, that's Dave McKnight. 17th spot out of Thameford, 45L, that's Curtis Gartley to his outside. In 18th out of Six Nations, it's 20, Johnny Miller. 19th spot out of Ushweekins, 77T, that's Tyler Powless and to his outside. In the in the 48, 20th spot, that's Lance Erskine out of Brantford. Inside, row 11, 21st starting spot out of Fawn Hill, tonight's winner of the B-Main, 12 Double D, that's Darren Dryden, and to his outside in the 14T, that's Noel Teal. Last row, 12th row tonight, 23rd starting spot out of Rockwood, Ontario in the 94, that's Ryan Fraser, and rounding out the field, who got the final spot in the transfer B-Main tonight, is the 99 out of Ushweekins, Joshua Hill.
Appreciate everybody joining us here tonight as Bobcat at Hamilton Weekly Racing, presented by Peters Construction Group. Action sprints on the racetrack right now. Don't forget, next week is Nostalgia Night, and we have our CAA Wall of Fame inductions as well. Reminder, race fans, dig out your old Merrittville gear, maybe an old driver's t-shirt, maybe an old track t-shirt. Celebrate with us as part of Nostalgia Night next Saturday, August 21st.
Wave anything you got, race fans. They're saluting you down the front straightaway. We've got a nice tight 4 wide here, as they're going to clean them out out of 2. And we are going to get green here in tonight's 25-lap AST feature event.
Coming to 1 to go this time. The lights will go out on the U-Pick Auto Parts SLM Recycling pace car. Getting ready for some sprint car action. Jonathan Howe up in the booth, and alongside me, Travis Cunningham, sprint car pilot when he's not up here in the booth with us. We appreciate Travis's insight. And it's been a lot of fun tonight, and I think it's about to get a whole lot more fun, Travis.
Definitely been a lot of fun with you, Jonathan. Definitely a pleasure to work with you. We've been having a good show. Definitely working well together as we're ready as the pace truck car pulls into turn number 3. Stratford and Costa going to lead him to green. We are green out of 4. Crate sprint action. Stratford in the 39 gets a good start. Costa in the 4 spun his tires a little bit. Stratford's going to roll the bottom. Dykstra slides up a little bit, almost opens the door for the 49 of Lucas Smith. As the 4 of Costa now going to throw around the high side. Let's see how that works for him, as the 5 of Dykstra is going to take the opposite line and look for second spot out of 4. And they are side by side for the second spot as Stratford leads that lap.
Dykstra all over the back of Stratford, trying to make the pass on Costa. Can't do it. Oh, one car stopped on the high side. That is the 2 of Lee Winger, I believe, at the back, who's come to a rest up on the outside.
Tough break for the 2 of Lee Winger.
Started 10th in this one, and then I believe has had some engine issues. We'll see if the CAA tow trucks can push him off and Winger can get refired. Smith lurking there as well. Green flag back in the air. Stratford gets a good start. Costa there as well, as the field begins to fan out into turn 1 and 2.
Stratford gets a good restart, and that BS39 leads him down into 3 and 4, holding that bottom. Got good bite in the 39. Costa on the top side, Dykstra on the bottom, as they were before that yellow, as Costa leads over Dykstra. Smith and Downey is your top 5 at the moment.
Alan Downey working hard on the inside, trying to get to Smith, make the pass for 4th, but Smith sails it in on the outside, and he might pull up even with Dykstra. No, Dykstra gets a great run off the full corner, and actually Downey will slide by Lucas Smith, who went upstairs to find some speed and instead will drop a spot.
Dykstra, good run down the back straightaway to the inside of Costa, who throws it in even harder. Costa on that top side, Dykstra on the bottom. Now Stratford slides across the bottom. That's going to open the door for the 5 of Dykstra into turn number 1. Stratford does a good job to close the door, though, into 1 and 2.
Stratford did more. One car stopped and around on the inside of turn 1. That's the 74. Rob Neely in the 74 has looped it in turn 1. And I was going to say Dykstra had a little more than the door closed on him, as it felt like Stratford slammed that door shut going into 1.
And he's going to try to go where he's not as we come out of green this time. Green flag back in the air. Stratford gets a good jump around the outside of the cone. Everyone getting by the cone as well. Dykstra actually follows the 39 that time in on the bottom, and that allows Costa in the 4 to get a run on him down the back straightaway side by side for that second spot. Costa now into second around the outside of Dykstra.
Great move from Downey, who shoots to the inside, and we're going to go yellow once again. We got debris on the front stretch. That's going to put us under yellow once again. As Stratford brings him back to green. Dykstra all over the back bumper this time. Back to racing here at Merrittville Speedway in the Action Sprint Tour, and Stratford will lead him through 1 and 2 cleanly.
Stratford getting nice restarts out of that 39, nice and square out of 4, got the power down, as now the cone does get retrieved to the infield this time, as we're going to be able to stay green as Stratford leads. 6 laps in this time, 19 to go for the 39 BS of Brett Stratford, 5D of Jacob Dykstra lurking that second spot. Costa, Downey, and Smith top 5. Beckett trying to get his nose into the mix in that 08.
Alan Downey trying to make the move for third. Downey down low. Can't get by Costa this time. Costa goes to the bottom to try to shut the door on Downey as Dykstra goes to the lead. Jacob Dykstra around the 39 of Stratford, and now Dykstra has clean racetrack in front of him. Can he run away and hide from a hard charging Stratford, Downey, and Costa still in the mix?
Stratford made one little mistake there out of 3 and 4 and allowed Dykstra to get to his inside. And now Dykstra in that 5D is going to lead. Battle for third as Alan Downey gets to the inside of Costa. Downey in that 19. He's definitely not going to go away. He's definitely not done what he's got to say in this feature. Here come Lucas Smith in that 49 as well. Top 5. Definitely a good run for that third spot as Costa dips a wheel in the moat.
Costa and Downey battling hard. You can see the brake rotors glowing on the 19D of Downey as he is through into third position. Downey trying to clear Costa through 3 and 4 and maybe set his sights on Stratford. Downey determined to get up there and start challenging and make sure Dykstra doesn't run away with this one.
Brakes going on that 19 of Downey. Definitely ride the brakes in sprint cars to keep the wheels under you when it gets this slick. So you ride the brakes, try to keep the wheel spin to a minimum. As now Downey does a real good job to pry open the 39 of Stratford, but Stratford does a good job to run down the straightaway and get away from Downey.
Lot of rear glow on the Downey 19D. I almost wonder if there's a fire underneath that, and maybe the brakes are a little too hot right now as Costa's trying to slip back by on the outside. Costa back to third, and we're trying to take second from Stratford.
With the brakes that hot on Downey, he's definitely going to get a little bit of a fade as we've still got 13 laps to go in this one. The pedal's still going to be hard, but it's going to feel like the brakes aren't working quite as good for that 19 of Downey, as he's allowing the forward now of Costa to get back around him.
Our leader, Jacob Dykstra, continuing to work through lap traffic down the back straightaway. He leads it by about a full straightaway, but he's got heavy lap traffic in front of him as we work lap 13. Stratford runs second. Costa and Downey still running third and fourth, battling for that third spot. And Beckett has worked his way into the top 5.
Good run for that 08 to Beckett into the top 5. He's been a feature winner before on the tour at Humberstone, I believe. So Beckett definitely fast in that 08. He's going to look to move in on the battle for third between the 4 of Costa, 19 of Downey. In behind him, 7 of Gleddale, and the 49 of Lucas Smith. Sheridan in behind him, rounding out about the top 8 as Sheridan's now feeling pressure from the 26 of Terry Baker.
Jacob Dykstra doing a great job negotiating lap traffic. He's being patient. He knows he probably has the fastest wing sprint on the car on the track right now. Stratford, all he can do is try to keep pace, but that pace has literally got him about a full straightaway behind right now. Dykstra still slicing and dicing his way around lap traffic. He works to the inside of Dryden now to put the 12 DFLD a lap down.
Dykstra definitely doing a masterful job in lap traffic as he's able to have about 7 cars in between him and second place car 39 of Brett Stratford. So Dykstra, definitely not his first rodeo in lap traffic in the crate sprints. Lots of feature wins for that driver, and he has shown his expertise in driving through the lap cars as we speak.
Downey now making the move on Stratford for second. Alan Downey goes upstairs in the 19D, but there's lots of lap traffic in front of them, including Dave McKnight Jr. in the 70 mm. Down into 3 and 4. Downey looks to get by the 39, can't do it this lap, and that's actually going to bring Costa back into the picture as well for the battle for second.
Definitely lots of traffic for that second spot. Stratford trying to get into the inside of the 48 of Lance Erskine. He sends it down to the inside of the lap car that time, shows his nose. Erskine does a good job to get out of the way of the leader. The leaders that time. Stratford in the second spot as now he tries to get to the inside of the 77T of Palace, the next car to go a lap down for this 39 of Stratford.
Costa way upstairs as he works off turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Costa trying to keep pace with Stratford and Downey. Nobody keeping pace with our leader, Jacob Dykstra, who finds himself kind of on an island now, away from the lap traffic as he works down into 3 and 4 on his own. Here comes our leader out of 4, Jacob Dykstra, absolutely in control on a Saturday night cruise.
Dykstra over a straightaway lead over the 39 of Stratford. As now 19 of Downey has fallen behind Stratford a little bit. Stratford did a good job with the 48 of Erskine to get around him. Is Stolly on the bottom now. Downey trying to lap him. And Costa has finally given up on that top side. He switches to the bottom to try to keep the 08 of Becca behind him in third as 2 laps to go this time.
Coming out of turn 3 and 4, the white flag will wave this time. Excuse me, white flag waves for our leader as lap traffic still taking the 2 to go. Jacob Dykstra absolutely in control. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Jacob Dykstra has a few cars battling in front of him, but he will race clean. Once we got green, Jacob Dykstra found a way to run away and hide with the win. He wins over second place, waiting on Brett Stratford. He'll bring it home second, and then it's Downey third, Costa fourth, over Beckett, who made it interesting as Beckett rounds out the top 5 in the 08.
Get Jakester around the front of this car. Jake, saw you earlier in the pits tonight. Said put on a show for us. You definitely did. Started last and he got to second. Then he got a good draw. Started third. Got by Stratford in the 39. Tell us about it.
It was pretty good. I was really able to roll the bottom pretty well, and took me a minute to get past Brett. We were running the same lines, and he was fast too. But just took a little bit. But once we got by him, and it was lap track was a little tough, but we worked around him and got it done today.
It might have felt tough, but you definitely did the best job. You got through lap cars. You had about 10 cars between you at some point. Tell us about all the sponsors that helped you get here. Another victory in the 5D.
Man, I gotta thank Seth Roy for doing all the tires this week. He's been working his butt off all since the beginning of the season, and I don't thank him enough, and he deserves a lot. I'd like to thank all my sponsors: 24/7 Water, Simplistic Linens, A to Z Expediting. Let me catch my breath here for a second.
Yeah. Read them off the car, bud.
Tim's Lawn Care, Dow Auto, Westside Automotive, and Maverick. They've been doing a hell of a job for us, and we're not going to stop winning races.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, put your hands together for tonight's feature winner, AST, Jacob Dykstra. Second place.
Modified event. Starting on pole, Trevor Wright out of Beamsville, Ontario in the 09. Alongside will be Derek Van Mill from Welland, Ontario in the 2 Cool. Starting third, Tanner Podwinski from Waynfleet, Ontario in the 72. Then starting fourth will be Todd Gordon in the 28. Starting fifth, Shane Pierce, the penetrator, out of Waynfleet, Ontario in the 88. Starting sixth, Austin Wood in the 1XP, representing Peters Construction Group. Tim Jones will start seventh in the 15J out of Port Robinson, Ontario. Starting eighth, Chad Chevalier, Heavy Chevy from Port Colborne, Ontario in the 12. Starting ninth, Tyler Willard from St. Catharines, Ontario in the 777. Starting 10th, Pete Bicknell from St. Catharines, Ontario in the 42. Starting 11th, Scott Wood out of Thorold, Ontario in the 38. Starting 12th, Mike Bowman from St. Catharines, Ontario in the 71. Starting 13th, again representing tonight's sponsor, Peters Construction Group, Darren Peters out of Fort Erie, Ontario in the 1P. Starting 14th, Fast Freddie Carlton in the 96. Matt Williamson will roll off 15th out of St. Catharines, Ontario in the S&W Service Center 6. Starting 16th, Dylan Davidson from St. Catharines, Ontario in the 73. Starting 17th, Tom Neal out of St. Catharines, Ontario in the 2X. And shotgun on the field will be Brian Page out of Ridgeway, Ontario in the 43 as the field begins to roll down the front stretch. 18 cars scheduled to go off in this one.
Trevor Wright with that Wayne Howard tribute on the side of his car, definitely looking for a good run for that all-source heat treating number 09 from the front row, with Derek Van Mill to his outside with the Too Cool. Podwinski, who had a really good run in his heat. Todd Gordon, another heat winner here tonight, definitely looking for any mistake out of the front row so they can get to the front spot.
Don't forget, race fans, next week it's Nostalgia Night here at Merrittville Speedway. Retro T-shirt night that night. Family with the best retro T-shirts will win themselves a gift certificate to Merrittville Big Scoop Ice Cream and Merrittville Wood-Fired Pizza. Lights out on the U-Pick Auto Parts SLM Recycling pace car. Trevor Wright will lead him to green alongside Derek Van Mill. They fire together at the orange cone and forward. This time, green flag in the air. Wright gets a good start, but not as good as Van Mill. Van Mill shot out of a cannon on the outside. He's going to try to take the lead on the outside.
Van Mill leads her down the back straightaway. Todd Gordon also getting a good run in that Balloon Moon Tails number 28. Going to look to the middle. Looks like the sprint cars have cleaned off the middle of the speedway. The modifieds might be able to use it. Is now out of 4 for the lead. The first lap is now Van Mill over Wright. Is Wright not going away on that bottom side? And that 09 Wright looking for the lead out of 2.
Wright out of 4 last time. I believe got a little shot to the back bumper bar courtesy of Todd Gordon. We'll see how tightly this field races, as maybe it's 4 wide at one point in the S&W Service Center 358 Modifieds. Look at Heavy Chevy on the outside. He gets by Podwinski, and now we'll try to get past Jones and Bicknell in one move through 1 and 2.
Still 3 wide out of 2 with Jones, Bicknell, and Chevalier on the top side as they're trying to work around the 88 of Shane Pierce, who's doing a good job in that 6th spot right now. He can't even see the battle behind him as they're still 3 wide out of 4 with Jones, Bicknell, and Chevalier. Chevalier not scared on that top side.
Van Mill still out in front of this one. Then it's Wright. Austin Wood and Todd Gordon starting to do battle. Austin Wood in the 1XP trying to do right by his sponsors. It's their night. Peters Construction Group here tonight. He carries that logo on the side of the vehicle, and he carries momentum down the front stretch, trying to set the move up on Todd Gordon as they work into 1.
Definitely a good run for that 1XP of Wood, but now he loses a little bit of ground to the 28 of Gordon. Wright still looking for a way by the Too Cool of Van Mill, who's doing a good job in that Too Cool car to hold on to the lead as he's rolling the middle out of 4, but making it stick. Bicknell moving up now as he moves into the 5th spot, finally getting away from Chevalier and Jones.
Great move from the veteran Pete Bicknell. He used the middle groove through 3 and 4, but now that down the back straightaway, Shane Pierce is sticking his nose into the mix, and here comes Fast Freddie Carlton on the outside. Todd Gordon and Austin Wood side by side for 4th. Bicknell holds on to 5th over Carlton. Pierce, Jones, and Chevalier doing battle now for 7th and 8th.
Wood now to the inside of Gordon. Austin Wood in that 1XP looking for the 3rd spot as they both gain in now on the 09 of Trevor Wright in front of him. In the 2nd spot is now Gordon gets a good run. He's still battling for that 3rd spot as Wright's starting to come back to them. Bicknell in 5th, Carlton 6th, who's done a good job. Freddie Carlton started way back in the 14th starting spot, and he's already up to 6th.
Fast Freddie Carlton has that 96 Bonesmobile dialed in tonight. He works just outside the top 5. Meanwhile, Derek Van Mill doing a great job to control this one out front. He's got the Too Cool hooked up for this feature. Trevor Wright trying to keep pace in the Central Fabricating 09. Todd Gordon is there as well. Top 4 under a blanket as they work into 3 and 4 this time.
Mr. Small Block, Pete Bicknell in that 42. In his line out of 4, definitely starting to creep in on this lead battle. It's going to be a 6-car battle for the lead before we know it. As we were 9 laps into this 35-lap S&W Service Center 358 modified feature. Van Mill and Wright, though, definitely doing a good job to keep her 1 and 2 throughout the first 10 laps. As I say that, Wood throws his nose into the inside of Wright, but that cost him a little spot with Gordon, as now he gets run down the front chute.
Todd Gordon trying to keep the Blue Moon Potatoes 28 ride hooked up on the outside. Here comes fast Freddie Carlton. He's going to get by Pete Bicknell on the outside, and now he wants more as he pulls even with Wood down into 3 and 4. Van Mill still continues to lead. Then it's Wright, Gordon, and side by side for fourth is Carlton and the 1XP.
Fan favorite fast Freddie Carlton, definitely not messing around here in the 2021 season. Already has a win here at Merrittville in his second place last week in the Humberstone Special, as he's 3 wide with Gordon and Austin Wood. Now Bowman in the 71, who hit the inside guardrail a couple laps ago, has rebounded, and now he's inside of Carlton and Wood in the Peters car for about the 4th spot.
Great racing up at the front here as one car slows on the inside. That's Matt Williamson in the 6. Something wrong with Matty Williamson in the 6 is that's going to bring out a yellow. The S&W Service Center 6 of Matt Williamson comes to a stop on the inside. Yellow flag is out, and we get to catch our breath after what has been a stellar S&W Service Center 358 modified battle up at the front so far.
Definitely lots of action all the way around the track, Jonathan. I'm looking at the front end of the 6 of Williamson. I'm wondering maybe if he's the right front's out of sniff a little bit. Maybe he got some contact, or maybe they just lost power. It's hard to tell. Green flag back out on lap 12 of this 35-lap feature as Gordon gives a shot to Van Mill going into turn number 1 as Wright got a good start, but now he has Gordon to his outside as Van Mill falls down back to 3rd in the clutches of Bowman, who gets him down the back chute.
A little bit of bumper cars down the front straightaway as Van Mill and the 1XP of Wood all got banged up, and that one as Gordon goes to the lead on the outside, and here comes Mike Bowman. Bowman to the inside. The Seaway Fluid Power 71 up to 2nd. He's gotten by Wright, and we'll see if he can go up and make a challenge for the lead.
Gordon now leading in that 28 Blue Moon Potatoes ride. Mike Bowman in behind him, looking for a mistake out of him. Bowman definitely wants to get back to victory lane here at Merrittville in that 71. Pete Bicknell now looking to the inside of Trevor Wright for that 3rd spot as he's gotten by the 96 of Carlton. Carlton rounding out that top 5 spot in the number 96 for the moment as he throws her in hard. Going to be 3 wide for the 3rd spot out of 4.
I don't like to bring up the past too often, but we have to remember that Gordon and Bowman clashed here in a battle last year at Merrittville Speedway that got ugly. This time, though, we'll see how they race each other. Bowman trying to find a way by Gordon, who shuts the door down low. Fast Freddie Carlton is up to 3rd, and if either of those two slip, he is there and ready to pounce.
Gordon doing a good job to hold the inside. He's going to try to make Mike Bowman go around him, but Bowman's not even trying that yet. He's still just stalking the 28, going to click off some laps as now he tries to pry him open into 3 door. Not open quite enough yet as Gordon's doing a good job to rotate the middle of the center and drive off straight in that 28.
Freddie Carlton might be in the catbird seat here as he's found a way to run maybe a little bit higher than these other two in front of him. He goes upstairs down the back straightaway. He drops off a little bit, but he is able to carry a lot of speed up on the higher side of the racetrack, and that is not where these top 2 are running. Halfway this time.
Halfway down, 18 in, 17 to go. 35-lap feature for the S&W Service Center 358 modifieds. Bowman now starting to squeak to the outside of the 28 of Gordon. Going to try to change up his line, see if he can get something going. Bowman finds the middle, gets some bite out of 4, and Bowman going to take the lead that time. Good run through the middle of 4 that time for the 71 of Bowman.
Bowman to the lead. The booth down to our right side, full of Bowman fans, is going crazy. Mike Bowman, he moved up the racetrack. He found just enough to get by Todd Gordon, and Gordon trying to make a challenge back on the inside now. Can't do it. Mike Bowman starting to stretch things out by about a car length and a half as they work into 1.
Bowman now starting to stretch out from the 28 of Gordon, 96 of Carlton starting to move in on him for 2nd, 42 of Bicknell. Don't count him out just yet. Into 5th now. 777, that's Tyler Willard. He's moved up from his 9th starting spot in the top 5. Willard in that 777 has definitely been fast here of late.
Great run again from Tyler Willard. He's under fire from the 1XP of Austin Wood. Meanwhile, Carlton now has a mirror full of Pete Bicknell.
Carlton that time pushes up out of 4, opens the door for Mr. Smallblock, and that throwback scheme he's got this year definitely looks good. I like it nice and plain, and that 42 looks good. I get to see it every day at work as I walk through the shop as he now looks to the inside of that 96 of Carlton. Definitely good battle between 2 wily veterans here at Merrittville Speedway for that 3rd spot.
Side by side down the front stretch. Bicknell noses ahead at the Tim Hortons finish line. Fast Freddie Carlton trying to fight back on the outside. He'll drop the spot and put Bicknell to P3 as we've got a yellow. Scott Wood has come to a stop on the high side of the backstretch, or excuse me, the low side, I believe. I've got the flag stand right in front of my view. Not sure what happened to Wood there. Might be another mechanical issue, as that car didn't really seem to have any pace here tonight so far in the feature after being consistently good throughout the season. We'll see if Wood can get things righted and maybe keep going.
Bowman is a control car on the inside in that 71, anywhere between the scoreboard and this orange Conan Ford. He fires and gets a good start out of the 71 as he's able to put a couple car lengths between him and the 28 of Gordon into one as Gordon misses the bottom completely and opens up the door for Bicknell. Bicknell now into second in that 42.
Here comes Pete Bicknell. Does he have anything left for Mike Bowman? Pete Bicknell goes to the inside. He's got about a car length to close on Mike Bowman, who gets a great run down the front stretch as Carlton and Gordon go side by side for third.
Freddie Carlton doing a good job. One of the only drivers able to make the middle of the high side work as he gets by the 28 of Gordon. Bowman doing a nice job. Beautiful line in that 71 as he goes in high, cuts it across, and goes off the bottom of 4 as the 42 of Bicknell slowly starting to try to reel in that 71. That's 10 laps to go that time by.
10 laps to go. Does Pete Bicknell have anything for Mike Bowman? Bowman using a little bit of a higher side to point it down the hill. He gets it going down the front stretch. Looking strong. Carlton through to third. Gordon now has to hold off a hard-charging Willard, and here comes Austin Wood on the outside in the 1XP.
Wood and Gordon going to battle for that 4th spot. Good battle between them. Peter's car on the high side, Blue Moon on the bottom. Wood that time into Peter's car shoots the middle of 3 and 4 that time, gets a good run, and was able to pinch Gordon down, get to the power first, and take over the 4th spot.
Tim Jones trying to make a move to the inside of Willard. That's to break into the top 5. Willard just on the outside of the top 5 there. He's trying to get past Gordon. Jones lurks there as well, and here comes Heavy Chevy up at the front. Mike Bowman in control of this one. Has about a 3 car length advantage now over Pete Bicknell as they work down the back straightaway.
96 of Carlton, bad break for him. He's got to go to the pits in that 96. That's going to move the rest of the field up. So now Wood is your 3rd place runner in that 1XP. Gordon 4th. And battle for 5th now is Tim Jones. It's to the inside of Tyler Willer, who dips the right rear into the moat. Tyler loves that line here at Merrittville.
Tough break for Carlton, but he gets it to the pits. Bowman still in control. Bicknell closes a little bit on entry, but Bowman's found something on the exit of these corners that's making him really strong down the straightaways, in particular down this front stretch. That seems to be maybe his best spot coming out of 4. Bowman uses the middle of the high groove, points it down the racetrack, and working within 5 laps to go.
Bowman doing it really. Oh, we got a car around in turn number 2, right in front of the leader. Bowman does a good job to miss him, as it's the 72 of Tanner Podwinski around in the turn number 2, right in front of your leader. Bowman does a good job to miss him, though, in that one.
Looks like Podwinski just looped it on his own on the high side of 2, and we are back under yellow, and I don't think Mike Bowman wanted to see that caution at all.
Definitely not, as he had a pretty good gap on the 42 of Bicknell, but now he's going to be right on his back bumper for this restart, and Bicknell, not his first day at the racetrack. He has a million tricks up his sleeve for restarts, and we're going to definitely have a good show here in the final 4-lap shootout for this one.
Back to green, and Bowman is away. Bicknell slipped a little bit, and that's going to allow Wood to get to his outside as they work down into 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, Bicknell and Wood trying to settle second amongst themselves. Bicknell gets a better drive off. 1 car in, I believe that's the Trevor Wright 09, and Bowman continues to lead.
Bicknell hung the right rear a little bit on that restart, allowed the 71 to get the advantage of about 7-8 cars now down the back straightaway. Bowman starting to pull away as he's going to come to 2 to go this time by. 2 to go in the air this time from starter Tom Beals. We got a battle now for the 5th spot, still between Jones and Willard as they go side by side for that 5th spot under the start-finish line that time.
Down the back straightaway, Mike Bowman trying to wrap up a victory here. Looking to get his first feature win on the year. He sees the white flag. Pete Bicknell coming around. Can't close in through 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway, Mike Bowman leads them into 3 and 4 for the final time. Mike Bowman in control. He will see the checkers. Mike Bowman takes the victory in the S&W Service Center 358 Modifieds over Bicknell, Austin Wood, Todd Gordon, and Tim Jones brings it home with a top 5. Ryko on the side of this one. And here he comes, Mike Bowman, back in victory lane here at Merrittville Speedway. Great run from Mike Bowman. You could feel it. You've had a couple good runs. You know, the momentum was building, and finally a breakthrough tonight for the win. Tell us about the drive.
Yeah, that's called having a monkey on your back. I'm really, really happy to get to the front, put one together for my guys. They've been nonstop. You know, there's no quit in them, and you know, like I say, just pumped to be here, put together 35 good ones, and bring her home for the boys.
Who do you want to thank for the win here tonight, Mike?
Oh, I got to thank Seaway Fluid Power, St. Amant Auto and Truck, TKC Metal down on Cushman Road. They come on this year. Happy to have those guys on board. Dave Reedy at Penske Shocks. He's another guy that never quits. We're on the phone lots. And Chuck at Barron, always talking springs on the phone. He's been a big help too. So my fiance Brandy, my family's for supporting me through all this stuff. My mom, my dad, and I mean all our family here. The neighbors are here. It's awesome.
Great job, Mike Bowman back in victory lane in the S&W Service Center 358 Modifieds. On behalf of track owners Don and Lorraine Spees. Oh, apparently am I in the photo? Mike Bowman celebrating in victory lane. On behalf of track owners Don and Lorraine Spees, I've been Jonathan Howe. Appreciate everybody making it out here on a Saturday night. I hope your Saturday night was more than just all right. We will see you next week for Nostalgia Night, August 21st. Bring your vintage gear, your vintage driver gear, your vintage track gear, and make sure you pick yourself up a 70th anniversary t-shirt. Appreciate Travis Cunningham taking over on the mic as well tonight. I hope everybody gets home safe. Take care. We'll see you next weekend.
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GForceTV. GForceTV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.